Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. Gail Bennington here in just a few minutes. And I'm Ron Bennington. Chris Stanley, we're just a couple days out from the Super Bowl, but you have put together your yearly comedians picking the Super Bowl bet. And this year, 52.
52 for Super Bowl 52. All calling the game, Eagles, Patriots.
Now, does anyone know besides you that you picked 52 for that reason? Because even I didn't know, and I'm hosting it.
Yes, I had to point it out to people, but once I pointed it out, they're like, "Oh, great, that makes sense."
My stupid fucking screen went off here. You know why? Because this barely touched it for a second. They set me up with screens, and then there's no room.
I know. We need more desks.
By the way, this is the way the world is going to look one day. The world will just be surrounded by screens.
It's the Man Who Fell to Earth, but everywhere, for everyone.
God, you know what? The Man Who Fell to Earth is such a weird, and I'll say even bad movie, and yet I'll watch it every time it's on TV.
Oh, it's great. It's great to watch.
Until it gets sad. And I don't even understand why he gave up so easy. It seemed like he had a lot of good shit going his way. I know he missed his wife on fucking No Water Planet. Speaking of No Water Planet, there was and it's up on the iBank today, an article came out. Now, you're following everything along with Tom Brady. You're Facebook Living. You're reading the book.
Tom versus Time, TB12. I'm all into it. I want to learn about what this man does.
Is TB12 the book, too?
TB12 is the book. That's like his company that like he uses to help other athletes fucking live better. And then the documentary is Tom versus Time.
Now, here's the deal I read. And the article's up on the iBank. If you followed along with TB12 and you drank the amount of water that he tells you to drink, you could die. You could literally drown inside your own body because he drinks 36 glasses of water a day.
That's too much water, Tom.
Wait, let me see if you could do this. If I added whiskey to it, whiskey and water.
Oh, that sounds like a fun day.
That's what's always funny. Even when someone said I drank a 12-pack, you're like, if you drank a 12-pack of fucking water, it would be too much.
Like, what are you doing with all that liquid inside your body, man?
So when anyone says I drank a case of beer over the course of a day, which is, for a drinker, that's doable.
Yeah.
Imagine if you drank 24 beers over the waters over the course of a day.
That seems much more dangerous than drinking beers and painful.
I am going to agree. It fucks with your, I'm going to guess, kidneys.
Yeah, I would think the kidneys, bladder. Has to fuck up the bladder.
Yeah, the bladder is fucking useless from that point on. Tom even said he hasn't been able to get an erection in 7 years.
Oh, my God.
No, I made that part up.
Maybe that's in the next episode of Tom versus Time.
When they were saying, "Where'd your kids from?" He says, "Well, my wife cocks me." And cream pie is the word of the day. Oh. Ooh.
But everyone also calls this TB12 like just nonsense. Like there's a lot of people saying this should work.
I guess it's elite, though. You know what I mean? And look, here's the thing: it's no different if he thinks it works for him. It's like having a horseshoe, right?
Yeah.
A horseshoe doesn't work unless you believe we're going to win this game. I got the horseshoe that was over my grandfather's barn. Vito, you're already picking the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I'm with Philly.
What was the final score you picked?
Final score is going to be 34-28.
Too close.
Jesus.
It's nerve-wracking for me.
It's a shootout.
Really?
Fuck, man.
I know. I was bragging about defense.
Look, Ron, the defense is going to fall apart, but so is the Patriots.
Yeah, everyone talked about the fucking Jacksonville defense, and then look at that game against Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, they give up 40 points.
Yeah, and then you look over after the game, the fucking defense is dancing, like, what the fuck we tell you? Like, you had a bad day and won.
That's the most annoying thing in the world, when the defense acts like they've done something, but they meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like a stop. Or even a sack when the game's already fucking over. The guy's like, that's it, baby. He's fucked.
You know why? Because there's money in his pocket.
I guess.
Because they fucking lock those guys into sack bonuses and shit.
Hit my that's what they should have screamed. Hit my bonus.
Oh, this Super Bowl. I just might end up going to fucking movies instead.
No, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the movies. No. I'm going to watch The fucking Shape of Water. I've never heard of a movie that I've had more friends beg me not to see.
Really?
Yeah, they say, please don't go to see this. You'll hate it.
I only saw the trailer last weekend, and the only reason I wanted to see it is because Michael Shannon's in it. Because I'm not the biggest Guillermo del Toro fan.
I think he's fucking shit. We turned him down before, remember?
Yeah.
Some fucking sissy book he had drawing book he had done.
Such a shitty book about my musings about the fucking fantasy world. Like, what are we going to talk about? This
Grow up. Stop making The Shape of Water. Fucking make Dunkirk too. The Dunkirk year.
New director for Dunkirk too.
I didn't even like Dunkirk.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it a while ago. I'm just like, oh, that computer sure blows up a lot. You know what I mean? Like you don't relate to the people. You're just saying fucking CGI fucking guys blowing up.
I miss squibs. I think squibs are the best way to show a goddamn gunshot wound in all film.
That's why we cried when they shot fucking Sonny.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even remember that. You don't know anything about The Godfather.
I know everything about The Godfather 1 and 2. And there probably had been about 25 squibs on Sonny.
Oh, no. There was way more. And they said they had fucking actually heard them. I had read about it before. Like those squibs back in those days, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
It was just firecrackers.
Yeah, it was firecrackers blowing up all over your belly and chest. He had to lay there while his skin was burning so they could get the final 3 seconds. Hey, Joey, what's up?
Hey, Ron.
Hey,
walking down Bleecker this morning to get to work, and I happen to come across Molly's Cupcakes. So I figure I got to stop in, say hello, grab a Ron Bennington. And you know what the lady told me today?
What's that?
That I really missed Fez. He was one of my best customers.
You know, that is true. Fez lived right in that neighborhood, and anytime anyone came to visit, he would take them to Molly's because they used to put Fez over real big.
Oh, nice.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
Like, hey! And he loved when anyone put him over in front of, his family and stuff. They're very nice people. All right, I hope you enjoyed your cupcake, Joey.
Oh, I enjoyed 1 and 2 for the road.
All right.
3 Bennington.
God bless you. You know what? 4. Pretty good prize closet. Pretty good prize closet for Joey.
Look him up, Vito.
Joey's a great name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
That should have been my name. I was going to be Joseph.
Really?
I was actually, I think I've told this, I'm sure I have before, but I was one of those kids that was dying when he was born, and my fucking cord wrapped around my neck like a fucking S&M trick going bad. And so in a Catholic hospital, if you were a little boy, they christened you Joseph. If you were a little girl, they christened you Mary, to try to make sure you go to heaven and not into the fucking limbo where all kinds of bad shit would happen. Because God would blame a baby for not being Christian. But then when I lived, my parents,
switch it up.
Yeah, but I don't get it. Fucking, I could have been Smoking Joe. Here comes Joe. I feel like more of a Joe than I do a Ron.
Like a Joe Cool.
Like when people yell Ron, I'm like, huh?
Wish it was Joe.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I forgot.
Or Jojo. Jojo could be fun. It's a fun nickname.
I don't know. That whole Jojo was a man who thought he was a woman. I don't want to fucking be teased about shit like that. I mean, I'm not as fucking gender fluid as the world is these days.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, you got to think of everything.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you're fucking naming a kid, you got to think of everything. You're like, oh, yeah, we can name him Bart. Wait a minute, Fart.
See, I never would have thought of worrying about the child.
Dude, yes. That's the main thing of, is there something the other kids can get a fucking hook into? That's what you got to concern yourself with at all times. Oh. A lot of stuff going on today, but I got to be totally honest with you. I can't get beyond this fucking Super Bowl. I can't.
It's intense, and it's taking.
Hey, tonight's 2 Bills. You'll probably want to watch that, right?
Oh, yeah. Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick.
Which, if you think about it, Bill Parcells, his legacy, I mean, he was a fucking legend, but his legacy is dulled over the years because he went on and had teams that didn't go, he wasn't such a genius. And all of a sudden, the other Bills getting a lot of fucking credit, Bill Belichick, because that was all about defense in those days.
Yeah, then that's how Belichick came in as a defensive genius is what they would call him.
It's very funny because I saw a clip, and they would make Parcells would always come in. It's like I fuck with you guys when you're working on stuff, and he'd be like, "So what are you geniuses working on today?"
What the fuck?
You're like, tell that fucking genius to get in here. It's always funny when someone uses a word that way and they destroy the word. Like Einstein.
Yeah.
Right? Einstein never gets used in a positive. You'll never be like, oh, he's so smart. He's like an Einstein. And so always look at Einstein over there. He's got his fucking shoes on the wrong foot.
It's the same thing with winner. Like, that guy's a real winner, but that guy's not one shit. It's the exact fucking opposite.
In my neighborhood, and I don't even know why, because this was IndyCar. But if somebody was driving too fast, everyone would yell, slow down, Mario Andretti. And I don't know who came up with it first. There's no fucking the Andretti family. You know what I mean? I guess we weren't NASCAR based in Pennsylvania.
No.
But Mario Andretti would be another thing. If somebody thought that they were good at sports, they would get called Joe Pro. He thinks he's fucking Joe Pro.
Look at him.
What's that even mean?
He thinks he's a pro, everybody. He thinks he's better than all of us.
Hey, Sean. Sean, what's up?
Hey, Joey B. So when you get to heaven, are they going to call you Joseph or Ron? And if they call you Joseph, how long is it going to take you to get used to that?
First of all, I'll just fucking roll with it. It's heaven.
Yeah.
If that's my biggest problem, it really is heaven. I don't know. It's up to them there,
I think they're going to go with Joey. I think they're Old Testament style.
Yeah. I don't know. I got rechristened, you know what I mean? So it's like you just can't go around calling, like, you can't use the word Bruce Jenner anymore.
No.
You can't say, well, dude, you were Bruce Jenner.
No, everyone will attack you.
You can't even say dude. What am I even talking about? Dude is going so too far.
Like, what'd you mean by that?
Hey, that hash pipe fucking intro was great today, man.
Yeah, Weezer's
that's
amazing.
The only rockin' song Weezer's ever done where they're not so effeminate.
It is probably their most masculine song.
Well, do they have any other really rockin' songs?
Surf Wax America, but that's...
I don't think I know that fucking
Beach
song.
Boy. It was an ode to the Beach Boys.
No, that's enough said right there. No one ever says, hey, the Beach Boys, they really came in rocking hard.
But yeah, it was more of like a surf rock type thing, Beach Boys. But most of the time
it's pop. It's like they're a nice little pop band.
And most of the time it's him pining over a young lady.
Yeah, I know. You get some fucking Asian hurt his feelings. Welcome to the fucking club. We don't go around fucking writing songs about it.
Just get over it, dude.
What if we put Vito on that 36 fucking waters a day until his gut gives out on him?
I'd love to watch that happen.
I think I could do 36 waters in a day.
Bullshit.
I drink a lot of water.
He's always, by the way, he's always overshooting what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
He's always saying, I always can do this, and then he never can.
He fails miserably.
I never said I could eat 2 pizzas and not do it, though.
He's right about that.
Well, guess what? At least I wasn't eating mushrooms in fucking Austin.
Oh,
you know
fuck, I forgot about that.
All right,
you
mushroom
tripped out.
cap.
That's why you were useless in Austin. And that's why you won't be returning to Austin this year.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's right. No Austin sun for you.
Were you getting a lot of Austin sun?
Oh, I was getting a lot of Austin sun, Rod. I was quite dehydrated for 3/4 of that trip.
Hey, Ray, what's up?
Hey, my dad would say something sometime. He would say, like, oh, no shit, Dick Tracy, where's your squad car?
See, you would think. They would make you feel, seriously, the adults would make you feel really fucking stupid for thinking that you had a piece of knowledge. When I was a little kid, my football coach used to say, no shit, Batman. When you were just saying, like, I missed the block, coach. And he'd be like fucking holding your face mask while he talked to you, which, did they still do that when you were playing Vito?
Yeah.
Fucking hated that. They would pull you around by your fucking face mask. And there would always be no shit Batman.
My mom would say, no shit, Sherlock.
All right, good. That's probably, if we were doing no shit blank, I believe no shit Sherlock would come up number 1 on Family Feud.
It's the alliteration, I think. People are just used to it.
That's when your mother, when you were stupid, your mother would say to you, no shit blank. Beep, 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 beep. I'd be like this. Beep, beep. No shit, Ron. That's too specific, just to you. Oh. What is it, Vito? You keep leaning forward. You try to fucking make an excuse why you tripped balls instead of doing your work.
That was just a one-time thing. I'm never tripping again.
Why would you choose to do it at work out of all the fucking
I just saw them in front of me, and I was like, that looks fun to
You
try.
had fucking peer pressure, dude.
It
You're a fucking pussy who succumbed to peer pressure. And that's why Chris had to do all the work in Austin, and you were useless.
All of it. That's probably why I had to get all these names for the Super Bowl special airing tomorrow and all weekend long.
That's really exciting, Chris.
Yeah, 52 comedians.
And then we're doing the GPS live from Minneapolis, which, by the way, we're not live, but we are playing a lot of Minneapolis rock. It's a good one, too.
That's on GPS. That airs Saturday at 3 p.m., Channel 27, Deep Tracks.
Channel 27. It's the best. And then we got a Gail Meets Girls this weekend. We're very busy for a Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah. And we're giving out the T.O. ball, the Terrell Owens ball. He might be a Hall of Famer.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't give a shit how mad they are at him. I mean, so he did mushrooms in Austin. So what?
It's okay. Look, he was still catching a lot of balls. I mean, he still could work while tripping.
Here's the thing about fucking Vito. Remember when he said, oh, and I'm going to take the tape recorder out and do a bunch of guys at clubs.
Yeah.
I'm at the stand.
Yeah.
There's 11 comics.
Yeah. Where's Vito?
There was no Vito. And by the way, not one of those 11 comics made your thing.
That's so fucked up.
I swear, because I said, I'm going to make a mental note of this. Because he had to run out and go to a fucking Grammy party that he saw a black guy get punched, so he didn't go into like a pussy.
He should have jumped in on that beatdown.
It was a joint decision by me and Sear to not go in.
Seriously, what'd you guys do then? Go do mushrooms somewhere?
No.
In your fucking car? Would you get in the back of the limo and trip balls? Chris, I'm sorry for everything that you go through.
You don't have to apologize. Ron Vito's the one who should be apologizing. He's the one who's so egregious against me.
It's a fucking great word to use.
Yeah.
Define egregious, Chris.
You're fucking with me. That's what egregious means.
That's right. That is the definition.
It's insulting to me, Chris Stanley.
I got a Wikipedia right here. It just says fucking with me.
I know my words.
That would have been a great comedy jam song for somebody to do.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because you could have even done a kick at that one part. You know, why don't you kick me and you just fucking throw a big roundhouse kick out there?
People would freak out. They saw that.
They'd go crazy.
Holy shit, he actually kicked.
He's got this shit down so well.
He must really know this song.
Here's the deal. We're down there. We're trying to do social media and everything in Austin. We're having a hell of a time. I mean, the shows are killing.
Hell yeah.
Why wouldn't this guy said, hey, I'm going to trip the first time. Why don't you guys put it on fucking Instagram or whatever?
He just wants to enjoy his trip in the fucking heat of the Austin sun at work.
Okay, Pink Floyd, I get it. I know where you're fucking coming from. You're coming from the dark side of the moon. That's where you live right now.
Is that Umaguma in there? I think it is.
That's fucking you, David Gilmour. Look at you.
Check out those pupils, like goddamn saucers. Tripping face.
Saucer full of fucking secrets, right?
Jizz.
Hey, Gail, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? Talking about Pink Floyd?
No, we're just a fucking complete... Vito was fucking with Chris, right? And then fucking Chris, shut him down by saying, at least I didn't do mushrooms in Austin and not do any of my work. Yeah. And that ended the fun. I mean, that was a fucking knockout. Vito got hit so hard that he hit the mat and his gloves came off.
Vito, you didn't try to ask him if he was sober in Austin?
Sober doesn't matter. It's fucking tripping balls and not allowing the fucking team to know about, because he could have put it on social media.
I've been drunk on the air, and maybe I had a couple in Austin, but I wasn't eating a bunch of drugs.
Gail, I know you like to come in here and protect the puppies, but you're too late. The puppies have been smashed. It's already over. Chris is riding high. He's got his fucking 52, which Vito didn't help him with one person. And even though I was down in the stand, remember when he said, I'm going to take a fucking microphone to all the clubs. I'm down at the stand. There's 11 comics standing around, right? So I make a mental note. Let's see if Vito's not here tonight, like he said. Maybe he'll get him on his own time. Not one of those comics.
Oh, no.
Not one of those comics showed up.
Guess who's in the halls of the mic? Guess who's on the phones? This guy, Ron.
Fuck yeah.
Vito, I defended you.
Shouldn't have.
Hey, Ed. Ed.
Yes.
What's happening?
Hey, Ronnie. I was just going to say the reference earlier to Mario Andretti.
Yeah.
I believe the first time I remember hearing it's in the song Uneasy Rider. where he talks about Mario Andretti would have sure been proud of the
Oh,
play
yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah. That's a
driving.
really good fucking call. That is a really good call. But I'm not sure. You know, things just have to happen once. And then a friend of mine was working for Steakums, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's working in the freezer at Steakums. His life is fucking fantastic. Some big fucking shots come in. One of them is Mario Andretti himself. My friend got him to go out and sign his fucking car in the parking lot.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
See, now now you just said Mario.
Yeah.
He just called up. He said Mario. They were debating this very thing on New York One this morning.
Wait.
It's a very strong debate of how you pronounce that name.
First of
And
all,
it's very regional.
this is where New York One is a news station, and this is what they're spending their time on.
Yes.
There's fucking terrorist attacks every day in this city. It's Mario Andretti.
Okay, so people from Philly,
Yeah.
people from New York City. I'll just go around. Chris?
Mario Andretti.
Mario.
He's
All
just,
right, now-
he's just fucking saying
I
that.
just said
You
New
know
York
what?
City people.
You're fucking tripping again.
No.
But you know
Looks
what?
like someone ate some more
This
cats.
is why you're always out with the boys.
Now,
okay?
here's the thing about it.
Yeah.
That a lot of times people from New York and people from Philly say Mario.
Yeah.
Most other places say Mario.
Wait, guess what? Where do Italians come from? New York and Philly.
Yes. No, they come from Italy and they say Mario.
Yeah, but when they get here, they don't even call it Italy.
Look,
What do they
here's-
call it over there? Italia. Right? So does that mean we're pronouncing it wrong when we say
should.
Italy?
We should.
We should.
We should say Italia.
You're-
I don't know why we don't. Why don't
I'll
we
tell
say
you why,
Mexico?
Gail, because we're not globalist. All right? America first.
Look.
Mario.
What does he say when you play the game? It's a me. It's a Mario. That's what he says.
Yeah.
It's a Mario.
He says it the right way, Mario.
No. Yeah. No, not Mario. Mario.
Mario. But
Mario.
he's saying Mario.
Yeah, Mario. That's what I say. That's what Italians say. But I think they say it like two syllables, but they say it like not like Merry Christmas.
I say it the same way they say it in Italian. Hey, Mario, get over here.
I had
Who are
this.
you, fucking Mario Andretti right now, the way you're driving down here? This is a fucking residential area. There's kids that play out here every day.
I had this debate with my boyfriend who is from Philly, and he was just like, it's Mario. And I was like, I understand you're saying that, but a lot of other people say Mario, including people from Italy. I used my example of the Mario brother saying, it's a me, it's a Mario. And he said, I don't care about that. I used to go to Mario's to get my haircut.
I agree with him 100%. I've
I
known
go-
nothing but Marios my whole life.
And I said, was Mario Italian American or Italian? He's like, who's Italian? I go, how did he say his name? He's like, I don't know. I didn't ask him, but we called it Mario.
But here's the thing. You're coming up here with a Florida accent where there's not even a Mario. You didn't grow up with Marios. I did. And they said to me, hey, is it Ron? I'm Mario. How you doing? Listen, if you need anything, let me know, all right? My dad's right now, he's got a bunch of fucking cans of corn.
I swear someone from Italy would not say Mario.
Sean, what's up?
What's up, Bennington?
Hey.
Just want to let you know, I had a friend of mine from Italy who knew Mario Andretti, and he pronounced it Mario.
No. Mario Andretti is his name. If he mispronounces
No,
his name,
it's
that has
Mario,
nothing to do with the rest of us, okay? A lot of people mispronounced. If you look at Chris, he's got a thick fucking tongue.
So
he mispronounces a lot of words, all right?
But he says Mario.
Yeah, Mario Andretti. And Super Mario, Japanese guys were running that VO session when they were doing it. It's a Japanese video game, so they don't even know what they're
Oh,
talking
Jesus Christ. Japanese? They're the fuckers that bombed Pearl Harbor.
about. Yeah, they're terrible.
In the middle of the look at him. He's coughing down his chest. This is why you got a chest cold.
He's ripping me off.
I watch him all
Into
day.
his chest.
He coughs right down into his chest and gets his lungs thick. You've had a cold since early December, Vito.
Yeah, I've probably even since Thanksgiving. This
That's
thing is,
fucking TB at that point.
I know. What is going on? I'm like,
What's
they're
going on?
sickly.
Ben in LA. How you doing, Ben?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
We're going to the Super Bowl, just like the song says.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
is. So I posed this question to you, Big Ron.
Yeah.
Do you say Maria or Maria for the female version of the name.
First of all, there
Would
isn't
it
a
be-
female version. It's a totally different name. And I say Maria.
No, Mario and Maria, Fernando, Fernanda.
I don't play those games. It's a fucking girl's
I think
name
it's a
or a
good
guy's
point.
name.
It's a good point he's brought up.
I say Maria.
Dude,
Maria.
Exactly.
By the way, there was a guy in my neighborhood who had the name Franny. Every day of his life was fucking hard. I'm like, you could go with Frank,
Yeah.
Frankie. You could fucking
Why
enjoy
did
your
you-
life.
That was your choice.
No. Oh, you mean him?
Yeah.
You're pointing at me. I didn't come up with it.
I mean, in this scenario, you're playing the role of Franny.
Look, let me just say this. Coming to the show today, and I mean, to me, this is like a great fucking Philly good luck charm. John Oates is going to be here. Fuck, John Oates. Oh, Oates. All right. Could this happen? Could a miracle happen for the city of Philadelphia? They've been waiting so long. And now just one victory.
I think they have the fight in them. I think they do.
It's going to take more than fight, Gail. It's going to take the blessings of the Virgin Mother, please.
Look, a dog's got to eat.
I didn't even think of that. A dog does got to eat, you know, and they are the underdogs. They got those masks that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
You look great too.
Please, don't even bring up the Super. I promise you, we won't mention the Super Bowl again today
Okay.
or tomorrow.
Well, I thought we talked about it a little tomorrow.
Cancel that 52 comics at the big game.
No, we were playing it.
You got zero help on that.
None
That's
whatsoever.
unfucking believable, Vito.
And I was depending on him to get those names, go down to those clubs and get those names, and I didn't get shit.
Why wouldn't you? Because you had such a big social life? Or a big fucking shipment of mushrooms come in from Kennett Square?
You growing them now, man? What's going on with you?
You know, they're all Eagles fans there, right? In Kennett Square, and that's the mushroom capital of the world. Half of the mushrooms eaten in America come from Kennett Square.
Wow.
I had no idea.
You had no idea?
I didn't know, no.
You could go down there for the mushroom festival. You didn't know it, Gil?
I had no idea.
Kennett Square. Fuck. Right next to Chad's Ford. God bless them both. Please, for those people, let them get this championship. They've been waiting so long. And now it's just one victory. That's it.
Yeah.
Just one fucking victory.
Just one more wave.
Fuck. And then the dogs eat. The dogs finally eat. It's feeling less and less like it's going to happen. Fucking Tom Brady drinks 36 glasses of water a day. We got to hit him in the bladder, boys. Hit him in that fucking bladder. How's he not pissing himself during the game?
He's had to have wet himself multiple
I
times.
bet his fucking piss is as clear as Poland Springs. I bet he could piss into a Poland Springs bottle, put it in the refrigerator. You come over his house, you'll drink it, and not even go, this tastes weird. You'll be like, this is the cleanest fucking drink I've ever had in my life.
I drink it warm.
Mario. That's fucking crazy talk. Plus, we don't go around
correct.
doing what the Italians do. Bunch of fucking sausage eaters.
We love sausage.
I know, but with every meal?
I mean, that's all they eat.
Send Jen in real quick. I want to make sure. Well, there's a couple big comedy stories. One, Kathy Griffin claims that there's a double standard, right? That she's taken all the heat because she's a woman and she doesn't get. She basically acts like she's fucking fired. Then she talked about, guess what's happening live?
Yeah.
And she says that dude offered her coke backstage. What are we, the fucking narc squad?
It's no one's
Between
business.
you and him.
Look, Vito doesn't even bring up who fucking pushed him into eating mushrooms. It was Christine. But, and he thought he had a shot with her if he ate some mushrooms.
Oh my God. That's like practically incestuous.
What a dirt
You know
bag.
what? You're going to rehab. I'm fucking texting Don right now.
He
You're going
said,
to
no,
rehab.
no.
You're going to rehab. No.
He'd rather stay here with Ray.
Ray who? Who's
You
this
know
fucking
Ray.
that you're hanging out with? All right, but I'll say this to fucking Kathy Griffith. All right? You act like your career is fucking ruined because you held up a bloody Trump head. You don't have a single fan, or you never had a single fan who would give a shit. Your fans stopped watching you for, she had a bunch of gay guys that watched her. Yeah. She lost her TV show, and now they don't go out to see her. That's all it is. This is what bugs me about Kathy Griffin. Go out and work the clubs again.
Well,
why do you act like it's fucking beneath you to work the clubs?
That's what I was thinking because, here in New York City, I've not come across a person who was offended by what she did. And in fact, many people were like, I thought that was hilarious.
It wasn't.
Or it was great. Or it was who gives a shit.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
But definitely nobody I've met in New York City. Now, there are going to be places, in other places, they don't feel that way.
But they weren't going to see her.
Exactly.
You think Doug Stanhope has more people who are his fans or more people who would be offended? He plays to his fans.
Exactly.
Everybody plays to their fans.
That's why there's got to be places for her to be working.
Yes, they're just not fucking 3,000 seaters,
exactly.
So she won't go out. Now, I will tell her this. Your supposed idol, Joan Rivers, had plenty of downtimes. She worked through them.
Yeah.
She didn't act like, why aren't I being given things? How come I can't be in the fucking new Avengers movie?
Look, I
don't get it. I'm not in the new Avengers. I couldn't be an Avenger. Now, there's another thing that, quite frankly, I'm here to rub in Jen's face.
Okay.
And that's Kevin Hart's new tour. And Chris, what is the name of this tour?
The Irresponsible Tour.
He's doing a bit about how irresponsible he is, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's got all these Kevin Harts in it. And it ends with his wife going, I'm going out on tour with you. You ain't going to be doing any more of this nonsense. And he's grabbing the baby stuff. They don't give a fuck, right? Jen's acting like, I hope she never goes back. I'm mad at her for not going back. They're laughing about it, Jen. They love it. They love it.
They have a private arrangement. Perhaps.
They got their own fucking scene that they're rocking, the heart scene, heart to heart. But how does that make you feel, Jen, that they're laughing at your...
All I have to say is next time it happens, we'll see if they're laughing. You know?
Can I just say
once you get
that...
somebody pregnant, we'll see if they keep laughing.
You know what? I bet they take that baby in and just love it. Love the hell out of it. He might have some outside children. That's always been my favorite thing because no white people ever says they got outside children.
How many outside children do you have?
Oh.
So these are your inside children?
Yeah, these are the insides. We only got some outside children. But here's the thing, Jem. They don't give a fuck. And you're a Puritan. She's a Puritan. She's very conservative.
Well, she does not like infidelity. It is definitely a major issue for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know. You don't know if it's infidelity because we don't know how the Harts treat their shit.
They could have a different type of arrangement that you would ever make if he was. If you
I'm
were married
sure
to Kevin Hart.
this
wouldn't be your arrangement.
No,
but
no.
Maybe. But what is she doing, Gail? She's judging from her view of the world, not the Hart's view of the world.
Right.
They have not the same zip code. Mm-mm. That's classy. That's classy. If you say in this zip code. One more victory. Fuck it. We have been waiting so long. Anyway. The game is just a game. You know, it's all about having fun. Now, there's a thing, because I don't know. Chris, you're watching in a home or you're in a bar?
I'm watching in a home.
How many people?
I think around 12.
Oh, that's too much for me.
I think. I'm not like...
How many of those people do you know?
I don't think I'll know 3 to 4.
So you might have strangers talking during the game.
I might have strangers talking during the game.
I couldn't live like that.
If someone said, what helmet are we? I'll go fucking crazy.
Throw myself out the window.
I want you to go in with this. It's up on the iBank today. It's a recipe. It's called Redneck Doritos. And in my neighborhood, our nickname for Redneck Doritos was Doritos. But this thing actually looks pretty goddamn delicious.
Oh, shit.
They're like battered in some way? Like what's going on with them?
Looks delicious.
Look, you got you're going like past the fucking thing.
That's what I meant. Chris, by what's in them.
You're gonna need a little smoked cat. That's the dip.
Okay.
Okay.
Then barbecue spice blend. That's what's covering it. Fennel seed, mustard seed, coriander, cayenne pepper, onion powder, This is actually
I would
some
actually
smoked
try-
paprika.
I would actually try some of this.
I would. It looks good. It actually looks a lot more highbrow than you would imagine a Dorito to look.
Is Johnny doing the Fox News weekend show where he can show off different things that he could make for people?
I haven't heard yet.
I call these French fries, and I take a potato and I slice them. And then I deep fry that. Take it out, put a little salt and pepper, and there you have it.
I wouldn't have thought to spice it like that. That's
Dude, I
smart.
was at a bar one time, and there was chips there, right?
Yeah.
Potato chips. I saw a guy take a salt shaker, and he salted down the fucking chips.
What?
And I go, the fuck are you doing? He goes, putting some salt in the chips. I go, the chips are salted. He goes, I like my chips very salty. I go, why don't you salt each fucking chip one at a time? All right? Not salt everybody's fucking already salted chips. Then I go like this. I see that fucking salt shaker lift up again. I'm putting this fucking knife in your throat.
Wow, where'd you get the knife?
You really don't like overly salted chips.
I didn't like his attitude of acting like we'll all have them overly salted.
He's claiming the entire bowl of chip.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I ate one of those chips. It was delicious.
Yeah, it's
I'd
good
never let
salty.
on. There was just a slight, And he goes, did you say something? I go, if I fucking say something, it'll be with this knife. This knife does the talking. And I remember, Vito, remember you were there that night? You came in, you're like, wow, man, these mushrooms.
Again.
are tripping."
When are you not tripping?
Whoa.
Steve in New Hampshire.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Ronnie, I'm an aerial photographer, and we were down in Maryland this last fall, flying back up here to New Hampshire. We flew over Kennett Square. That is the stinkiest frickin' town I've ever smelled in my life.
Well, first of all,
It's disgusting.
It smells purely of horse shit. And that's where your mushrooms come from. They're grown out of horse shit.
Yeah. Cow patties and horse shit.
They're
are the
the number
best.
one importer of horse shit anywhere in America.
Do we need all this horse shit?
They're so popular for mushrooms.
What's that?
Do you know why it's so popular there? Why it's that area is so good? Because you get the cocoa shells from Hershey. You get the chicken shit from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. You get the horse poop from outside of Philly. It's all right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it started, like, in fucking 1900, but now you could move that same shit around anywhere.
We'd all have access to poop, really.
But I would love to see some of your aerial photography. Send it to us sometime, all right?
I definitely will.
That sounds like an unbelievable job to have, right?
You know, it does sound really cool.
It's a great job. You meet lots of great people, and it's a lot of traveling. The drones have definitely cut in my business.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, yeah.
Where should I send the pictures to?
Send them to what, Chris?
You can send them to @Bennington Show on Twitter.
@Bennington Show. And what's the email for it?
You can email me.
No,
Never
the
mind,
Bennington
never
Show's
mind.
email.
The Bennington Show @gmail.com.
Oh, boy. All right.
Bennington
Thanks.
Show at gmail.com. I'll do that.
All right, thanks. He's the producer, and you wonder why his fucking underling is tripping balls every minute. Hey, look who it is. It's the chef, the halftime show chef. It's going to give us some ideas for this weekend. Johnny, are you back on this year?
Bennington's. Very excited for you guys for this weekend.
You break out that white jacket so you can make some pregame goodies?
I do a very particular thing on Super Bowl for some odd reason. It's
Sushi.
Yep.
I remember it from before. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, it was very.
Yep.
But remember, his plate did look pretty.
Yeah.
You did
Send
a good
out
job.
pictures of your plate again this year and try to win the
I
bonsai.
will, and it's very strange. It's not like your generic, crab and all that stuff. I mean, I'm doing since of course the Eagles are in. I'll be doing a cheesesteak roll with. I'm going to use provolone. I think I'm going to go with the provolone instead of Cheese Whiz. I'm going to be doing a taco roll for New England. Of course, I have to do a lobster roll. Although, as I look at this Tom Brady diet thing, maybe I'll do some sort of stupid kale and quinoa bowl roll because that's what this guy eats, and he doesn't eat mushrooms, so that's a shot right at Philly, right at your.
Well, it's kind of square. I mean, some people don't eat mushrooms. What can I tell you?
Because they have nightshades in them, and it makes him. It could inflame your muscles.
He can't eat a tomato either, right?
Correct.
I'm starting to notice a lot of people are off tomatoes these days. The whole gluten-free
Nightshade.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Night Strangers? That's still fucking happening?
Now,
I think
this has to be plugged in. It's down to 7% or whatever. I got a fucking fake laptop in here today. Because our regular laptop shit the bed. But, you know what I mean? Chris, I shouldn't have to be engineer. I shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, my life should be so fucking great right now. And I got a lot on my mind. I got a fucking Super Bowl coming up. So what do I need now? Super sensitivity.
Exactly, super
okay?
sensitive.
So true.
All right, because I need to keep myself super unstressed. All right? Fucking, I was in a cab today. I'm driving in. Everything's quiet. I go, so could you put on a classical music station for me? He is. And then everything is just so nice. And he just hears this blood-curdling scream coming out of the back seat. There's no way this is ever going to fucking happen. And he's like, are you all right, sir? I go, I didn't say a word. He said, you were just screaming. I go, I might have blacked out. I might have blacked out for a moment. All right, Johnny.
You gotta have faith for today. For this.
You gotta have faith.
Exactly.
Hard rock, Johnny. Okay, Johnny. Best of luck with all your terrible sounding food. Okay.
Hey.
I mean, it's not sushi. What you're making?
I will be making regular sushi. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I'm not worried. I'm just saying. I got to tell you the truth, Johnny. I'm fucking trying to run offensive fucking schemes, defensive schemes, special teams. I can't be thinking sushi right now, right? I'm fucking trying to manage an entire game in my mind. Why can't it go just like the Vikings game? That's what I want. A peaceful, relaxing fucking day.
It'll never happen.
I guarantee you, if we go up big, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll fucking buy a hot tub and have it in front of my TV for the fucking, so I could be in there like Back to the Future 2. Just watch it from my giant hot tub. All right, Johnny, thank you, man.
Good luck.
Thanks. Don't say that. Break a leg is what they say. Except for when it comes to Wentz, because he will do it. Hey, Ken. Oh, hold on. I got fucking, oh, that's the other guy. Here's Janice. Janice, what's up?
Hi, Ronnie.
Hey,
I was concerned that you got mad at me when I jumped on the
No.
bandwagon.
Can I tell you why, honey? You're a 4-leaf clover, all right? I was telling Gail that. I said, this is the pot. I go, Janice is the pot of gold at the bottom of the Eagles' rainbow.
That's a direct quote.
Yeah. And look how you did during your Super Bowl year, right? How well that went for you.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of Super Bowl I want. 46-3. Just a relaxing. Everybody said, oh, that was the worst Super Bowl ever. Not if you were a Bears fan.
No.
Was it?
I would be having a fantastic time then.
I'm not here to please the country. Just Kennett Square, Chad's Ford, Upland.
All right.
Twin Oaks Village, Twin Oaks Farms, Boothwyn, Ogden, Linwood, Trainer, and Marcus Hook. That's the people I care about right now. Quite frankly, even the people who claim Garnet Valley, if you'd like to jump into this, you're more than welcome. All right? Ridley Park, Lansdowne, of course, Upper Darby, your people.
Yeah.
Darby.
Even Darby?
Yeah.
Is there a lower Darby?
No, nothing is lower than
Darby.
Darby. Come on. Know your colloquialisms. No, Janice, please enjoy. We've been waiting so long. Okay?
Even though Minnesota didn't win, because it's in Minnesota, I'm doing Swedish meatballs for.
Yeah. By the way, the people of Minnesota hate Chicago. You know that, right? They hate your guts.
I felt bad when I said, what a great playoff week, and then I realized, they got killed, didn't they? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
they did. But people in Minnesota, they hate Chicago so much, and they're so jealous. And then you know what they call Minneapolis, right?
What's that?
The mini apple.
Yeah.
Like instead of the big apple, they'll say the mini apple. Just
I
like,
don't think
shut
so.
up.
I've been there. I don't think so.
I'm surprised you didn't hang yourself. I was there I had the rope around my neck, was up, and then all of a sudden, checkout time, maid service. I'm like, oh yeah, I could just check out. Why am I hanging myself? I get to leave and get on a plane. Thanks, baby.
You.
Talk to you soon.
Love you.
Peace. This is my favorite fucking story of today, and this is why you will never beat Donald Trump at any time. He gets up today and he puts out a tweet. We had the biggest State of the Union viewing audience of all time. Biggest of all time. Thank you to everybody for all the accolades came from the heart. Within minutes, all the news places have. Here's when Obama's was bigger. Here's when George W. Bush's were bigger. Here's where Bill Clinton's were. He could just say something is the biggest. Anyone else that would fuck with them.
Yeah.
No one's, they're just going, no, it's not. It isn't. You're just lying for no reason to lie. No one cares if it's the biggest or not the biggest. Yeah.
It's never
People have other
occurred
shows
to
to
me.
watch.
It's never occurred to me during Obama's State of the Union, George W. Bush's State of the Union, is how are the ratings on this compared to other presidents? I never really thought of it that way.
Here's what I think if I watch any State of the Union. Nothing could be duller than a State of the Union. And when people say, oh no, State of the Union, you're going to watch it? I'll go, tell me about one State of the Union from the past that you remember
Right.
like it was good. It's the worst fucking, I don't want to say it's like church, but it's the same feeling you get.
Right. They're patting themselves on the back, and they're also, nobody ever just says shit's fucked up during the State of
That
the
would be
Union.
great.
I mean, this is not a good state. Our union is not in a good state.
Our shit is fucked up, and quite frankly, I don't believe in the American people. They're fat, they're lazy, and they keep their mouths open like baby birds hoping for handouts. I don't see anything good happening for us. Now, there are a couple countries I'm impressed with. Denmark. Unbelievable. Poland. How did that happen? How did Poland get up off the ground? Maybe we could do it. I don't know. Canada seems like a bunch of nice people, but they don't deal with the same amount of minorities that we do.
So this is a
Just crickets. He says something like that.
So this is a reoccurring thing with Trump. Does he say these things because he thinks them and he creates this in his mind? Or does he have yes men around him who please him by telling him those things, and then he goes to the public with them? Which is it?
I think he tells his yes men. His yes man says yes. And then he goes, he's a salesman. So, I mean, he grew up saying these are the best apartments in New York City. You have the best view in New York City. Nobody was going to,
Right.
there was no way anyone was going to say, hey, we checked. But he's always saying for years, I'm the number one real estate developer in New York. I don't think he's ever been in the top 10. His name is on some buildings, but he doesn't develop them.
Right.
He is a salesman, and that's the way salesmen say stuff. You ever go to a fucking car lot and have them say, this is the number 5 new car this year. We can't believe it. It's number 5. There's only 4 cars better than this one. So I advise you to buy it.
Guess I will.
Yeah, the 4th car is cheaper than ours. It's better and it's less expensive. So that's his thing. He's just a salesman. He doesn't give a shit what the facts are. He cares about the moment of like how exciting it is to see that.
Does anyone come to him afterwards and say, Mr. President, after you made that statement, it kind of makes it look like you're saying false statements. Maybe we should avoid reporting ratings that aren't true. You think anybody corrects him and goes, hey, maybe in the future we shouldn't do this?
No. Or else they won't be on the team. They won't be able to keep their gig. Because we don't need a downer person, right? Not when we just had the biggest goddamn State of the Union of all time.
It's huge.
Twice as big as most. And everyone loves us. He'll say a lot of times, this is the worst deal. Obama made the worst deal. Everyone's saying it. Who? People you know?
Me, my
friends. We got a
friends.
break, Chris?
Thank you.
Wow. You know what's exciting about this big weekend? The Dish. How do you know it's time to switch to Dish and get their award-winning voice remote? If you've ever missed a kickoff because someone was fumbling with the remote, it might be time to switch to Dish. If you think it's weird finding out that your favorite teams, movies, or shows mean navigating a maze of menus and buttons? It may be time to switch to Dish.
That's because Dish is different. They're making it easier than ever to get the TV you love. With a new powerful Dish voice remote, you just say what you want and it's on. With technology like that, it's a better time than ever to switch to Dish.
To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH. Go to dish.com or visit a local retailer near you. Requires internet connected hopper. Other restrictions apply. For full details, 1-844-CALL-DISH. Dish, tuned into you. That's the title track of John Oates' new album, Arkansas, available tomorrow in stores and online. And you can see John performing with his band at Joe's Pub in New York City this Monday, February 5th. JohnOates.com for all dates and tickets. Great to see you, my friend.
Oh, man. Thanks for having me back.
And what a great album. What a fantastic album, man.
I'm really proud of this record, and thank you for saying that. It's one of those things where, I didn't know this record was going to happen. It started out as a tribute to Mississippi John Hurt. I was just going to do it, cut a couple tracks casually with an acoustic guitar and my voice. And I started doing it, and then I said, I wonder what these songs would sound like if I played it with a band. And I just called my friends in Nashville, notably Sam Bush, the legendary mandolin player.
Mm-hmm. And that mandolin is unbelievable.
No, he's one of the greats of all time. We assembled this great band together in the studio, and once we cut the first track, which was Stagger Lee, and once we cut that track, my engineer turned to me and said, Johnny, goes, I don't know what this is, but it's cool, and we should just keep on doing it.
Yeah.
And we recorded everything live. What you hear is exactly the way we played it. There's no overdubs, no digital fixing, nothing. Analog tape, the whole bit. So it's without a doubt the most real, pure thing I've ever done.
Now, the songs themselves, right? What's the relationship with the songs?
Well, it kind of evolved in a unique way. As I said, I set out to do a Mississippi John Hurt tribute record. Mm-hmm. So there's 5 songs that are credited to Mississippi John Hurt, a part of his songbook. But then I wanted the album started sounding so good, and it began to take on, it had a little bit more of a modern sensibility, and I thought, well, what was the other music that was happening during this late 1920s period when Mississippi John Hurt was first recording? And I said, well, okay. I read where he was a fan of Jimmy Rogers, who is pretty much acknowledged as the godfather of country music. Mm-hmm. Influenced people like Hank Williams and so on and so forth. And then I said, well, what else might have been played on the early days of radio, or might have been played on a phonograph machine in someone's house during the 1920s. And as it turned out, one of the first hit records was a song called Anytime by Emmett Miller. And I thought, okay, well, hey, let's do that. And so the record began to take on a much kind of richer tapestry of capturing this late 1920s, early 1930s period of time when American popular song was in its infancy. And it was, obviously pre-big band, pre-rock and roll.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people know about it. In fact, I learned a lot in the process of making this record.
Well, all of our music, all of our American music comes from this part of the world, yes, whether we know it or not. And it's a starting point, not just for us, but it ended up being a starting point for the whole world.
That's right.
And there's something odd and magical about that, and it has to do with the river. It's insane when you think that this was this tiny little seed that everything came out of.
It's incredible. And the fact that, it came up through the South and up through the Delta, and then, of course, hit Memphis. Mm-hmm. And you know what Memphis brought to the world of rock and roll and so forth. And then as you go further north through Arkansas, which is kind of the last rural stop on this amazing, magical journey of music, it went to St. Louis. And then Chicago, and became a little more sophisticated, a little more urbanized in a way, and opened up channels of other things like the urban blues and the Chicago blues and things. When I wrote the song Arkansas, I was literally standing adjacent to Highway 61, which is known as the Blues Highway, or the Great River Road, and along the Mississippi River. And here again, I was caught up in this being at ground zero to this great American musical heritage.
And this, for anybody who would think that this is a step in a different direction. This is really your early understanding of music as it is. So, I mean, the thing that you brought to music was this kind of music along with a Philly soul sound right from the beginning. But you went back and you actually even talk about that a little bit on the record.
My moving to Nashville about 7 or 8 years ago was really the catalyst to allow this to happen. It was always in me. It was always part of me. I mean, when I met Daryl Hall when I was 18, I had been playing guitar for over 12 years. This was the music I was playing. I was playing Mississippi John Hurt, Doc Watson, all the roots and blues players. And but in the years that went on when he and I collaborated, we went on a commercial, direction, and we did what we did in pop music, but it never left me. It was just lying dormant there, and it was my experience in Nashville meeting these incredible players, and especially in the Americana community, being embraced and accepted in that community, that led me to be able to make a record like this, to rediscover my past and bring it out.
I think it's also fascinating that because of those early recordings, anyone could go back and find that sound, and anything that happened 10 years before that could be lost forever, because we had sheet music, but a lot of those writers did not write music, so there could have been somebody up in the Ozarks just writing some amazing stuff that was never heard more than 5 miles away from their house.
And because of that recording too, that becomes an American touchstone, which I think is so cool about that music, is that you don't have to be from there regionally to feel so connected to that music, because it's just inherently American sounding.
That's right. Well, you can ask any of the British or any foreign musical artist, and they're going to always go back to the American South as their touchstone. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, when you said some of this earlier music wasn't codified, there was no radio, there was no phonograph machine, so you had literally, if you didn't have the sheet music and you didn't play it in your house or go see someone perform it, that was it. Yeah. So this is the first time that music is really being, preserved in that way. And it led us to where we are. I mean, look, we're on the radio.
Right. It's this, Yeah.
I mean, so it's pretty amazing. And the more deeper I got into this project, the more the greater my appreciation grew for being able to, just document this moment.
So how were you a little kid and you found out about roots music to begin with? Why weren't you listening to just Dion and stuff like that?
I was that too. I started out, when I started playing guitar at 6 years old, one of the first songs I played was Oh Lonesome Me by Don Gibson. And I had the sheet music for that. And so I listened, being a little kid and only knowing 3 chords, it was country music, Yeah. And then the Everly Brothers and so on and so forth. But when I was about 12, I had a friend whose older brother went off to college in North Carolina. And he came back at Christmas break with a stack of folk albums. It was when the folk boom was hitting the college campuses in the early 60s. And all of a sudden he brought them back. And, I was already playing for a number of years, so I could kind of play. And I started dropping the needle on these records going, who is this? What is this? And, it was Maybelle Carter, and it was, Doc Watson, and like the Carter family, and on and on and on. And I began to learn it just by rote, really just by dropping the needle, trying to figure out what key they were in. And it was not easy, but I kind of made my way. And then in the mid 60s, I met a guy named Jerry Ricks in Philadelphia, who was a big part of the folk scene in Philly. And a lot of these early, these rediscovered blues musicians like Mississippi John, Doc Watson, Son House, Sonny Terry, and Brownie McGee, when they'd come to Philadelphia, they didn't have money to stay in a hotel, and they would stay on my guitar teacher's couch. And so I got to meet them, and I got to meet them firsthand, and then go to the coffee houses in the Philadelphia Folk Festival, watch them play. So it was really, I was in the right place at the right time. And while all that was happening, there was the Apollo Theater.
Right.
And I could see Sam and Dave and Otis Redding and James Brown and all at the same time. So it was an incredible time to be in Philadelphia, this really rich musical, experience to be part of.
But you didn't let yourself become a purist as a young person. A lot of people will this is the purity of it. But you let yourself move around in all these different genres.
I think I saw the thread. I think I don't, I don't think I, consciously thought about it, but I think I sensed the thread between this original roots music and the R&B stuff that I was hearing with Otis Redding and at the Apollo, at the Uptown Theater. It all made sense to me. It all seemed like one thing. Mm-hmm. So I never really divided it up into categories.
When you said you met Mississippi John Hurt when you were a kid, what was his thing that these young white kids would even know what he was doing? Was that like shocking to him?
The folk thing that happened in the early mid 60s was kind of stilted in a way. A lot of it happened here in the Village, in Greenwich Village in New York. You had these young kind of intellectuals who were kind of intellectualizing and looking at it almost like a kind of a museum piece, I remember when Doc Watson came out of North Carolina and was brought up to play like Town Hall and to play Newport Folk Festival. I remember he wanted to play like modern music. He wanted to play like swing and stuff. He wanted to play an electric guitar because he liked electric guitar. But the guys that were kind of bringing him along were like, no, you have to wear overalls. You have to play.
That's really interesting, man.
You're this. And, so here again, I don't think musicians in general like to be kind of categorized and put in a box. I think they're pretty open-minded in general, but there was a lot of that going on. And I remember sitting at the Philadelphia Folk Festival and watching Mississippi John. The stage was only a foot high. It was a foot high off the grass.
Yeah.
And people sat on blankets and just sat there. As close as we are, and I watched his fingers, and everybody was very serious. It had this like kind of weird seriousness about it, but it's really kind of a joyous music in a way.
It is. And it's funny that you bring up his fingers too, because the way that he played was closer to being modern than I think the old blues guys played.
Well, he Mississippi John Hurt was not a Delta blues musician. He was a Piedmont hill country blues musician. And his style is much more similar to ragtime than it is to the Delta blues. And that's why I included the Blind Blake song on the record, That'll Never Happen No More, because Blind Blake is kind of the man when it comes to ragtime picking. And Mississippi John had a very unique style. It was he had a syncopated thumb, very similar to what stride piano players would be doing back in those days. The old, and he was unique. And that's, I think, what appealed to me as a guitar player. And I copied him and I play as close as I can to the authentic style.
The album is Arkansas. It's available in stores and online tomorrow. Even though I found it on iTunes today, I got to tell you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
John is performing at Joe's Pub in New York City Monday, February 5th. JohnOates.com for dates and tickets. And what's really interesting is that you can make a record like this, and it's instantly familiar and comfortable if you've grown up listening to music. There's something about this that is far in our DNA. But if you guys would have released this as a Hall & Oates album, it would have put a lot of pressure on the touring. But you're able to do different tours. You're able to do this kind of music when you tour, and then go out and play the hits for people.
Well, the success of what I've accomplished with Daryl has given me this freedom. It's a unique freedom. It's very, very important to me personally. And I think it's the kind of freedom that a lot of artists would like to have, to be able to do 2 nights at Madison Square Garden coming up with Daryl this spring, and then do this, play Joe's Pub and with this incredible band. It's the best of all worlds, really, to be honest with you. And I kind of think I earned it in a way.
Sure.
The success has enabled me to have that luxury and to be able to do it. So I'm very conscious of it, and I don't take it for granted. I think it's something that a lot of people wish they had. So I want to make the most of it.
But a lot of people think, and then I can spend my off time laying in a pool,
playing golf.
But yeah, you're out doing this, and every night that you're performing this music, something different can happen. That's what's the other really fascinating part of this. And you're like, there is an intellectual approach to this. Of course, you have to track this music down, but this is an emotional journey.
It's emotional, it's joyous, it's real. And, for me, at this point in my life, with everything I've done and the experiences I've had, if it's not real, then it doesn't matter. And I think in this world, the world we're in right now, this kind of somewhat disconnected existence that we all kind of struggle with, I think real music is important. And that's what I tried to bring with this album is it's about as real as it gets.
Well, it really comes across. I mean, even if you're listening to it and you don't have a producer's ear or a musician's ear, hearing you say that this was such an organic experience for you recording it, I think it really comes across for the listener as something so grounded and so familiar.
Thank you. Well, that's a high compliment. I appreciate that.
Well, the funny thing, I was just watching the Grammys the other night, and I'm going, when did we stop putting musicians on the stage? You know what I mean? Like, they're not on the stage.
No.
And, I grew up like where there's that the music was the show. Mm-hmm. But what I love in this is that the music is up front on this album.
Oh yeah, the players, the players are so good, and they were so much a part of this. That's why I decided to call it. I use my name obviously, but I decided to call it With the Good Road Band because this Good Road Band is, for me, they were an integral part of making this. I could not have made this record without them. It was their sensibility and the way they hear and listen to each other that made this project happen. So. I hope that the Good Road Band becomes this kind of, revolving opportunity for various musicians to jump in and play this great music.
Yeah. Well, you've had that with Hall & Oates, too. Like, over the years, it's amazing the people that have played with that band and the chance that they get to shine in that music.
Well, Daryl and I have always been, we think of us as a band. Mm-hmm. We don't think of us as a duo. In fact, we hate that term. We've always been two band leaders, basically, with great players.
This could go on all day, but we gotta let you go out.
All right.
The new album, Arkansas, is available starting tomorrow in stores and online. Joe's Pub, which is a fantastic place to see a show in New York City on Monday night. JohnOates.com for additional dates and tickets. I want to go out with Dig Back Deep because I think that's a real big part of what you're doing with all this.
It's one of the last songs that I did on the project because I was kind of listening to everything and kind of getting a feel for what we had. And I said, what am I doing? I said, I'm digging back deep into the past and what I really love. And so that's where that song came from.
Great to see you, my friend. See you next time.
Man.
John Oates, the new album, Arkansas. We've got a signed copy of the new CD. And I got to tell you, it's really, really strong.
Yeah, I love it.
Give us a call, 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD, and somebody will be the winner of this signed CD by him. He looks so great. Like he said, they're selling out Madison Square Garden in 2 shows in a row. And when he's not touring that, he goes out and does his own music and clubs and bars and small theaters.
Well, you can see somebody who has talent plus passion. Those two things together can give you energy through your life.
Yeah, that is true. But also to be still motivated by the music instead of, and don't get me wrong. I'm sure in the 80s, those guys were just thinking hit singles. You know what I mean? And there was stuff that they didn't necessarily even like. I always like if you see one of their shows, and this happens with certain people, you can see the people who only picked up on them in the 80s because of MTV.
Right.
And you'll see them pop for songs.
Sure.
And then you see other people pop for the 70s, which was kind of radio music.
I got the chance to see Hall & Oates at Prospect Park playing outside, which was just so much fun. And you just see how much, their hits bring such joy to people. Like people were just so happy, and it was summer, and it was just just such a fantastic show. It was like the most good mood moment
I'm telling you though, they have got such great fucking players with them, and people forget how much great musicianship matters because we've kind of, it's become everything but great music played will fucking blow you away even when you don't expect it. So he's got that, and then there's great musicians on this record. And the other cool thing about this, you go to a place like Joe's Pub, and it'll be playing places like that around the country, and see that kind of music up close. You know what I mean? You're not just in an arena. And it's because he's not, going to sing "You Make My Dreams Come True." You know what I mean? He's going to do this other stuff. But believe me, if you're an adult, you will have a great time. You will have a great time with this album. I think it's pretty amazing. All right, Chris, I'll let you say. We got 9 phone lines here, all blown up. Pick a number between 1 and 9.
I'm gonna say number 6. Number 6.
Here we are, Erica.
Oh my God!
You are the winner.
Welcome, Erica.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Now, is Iowa known for any music at all? Is there anything that's ever come out of Iowa?
I'm not a native. I spent half my adult life in right where you are.
Is that right?
So,
well, then,
most of the music I know came out of New York, as far as homegrown stuff. I lived there from 1980 till 1997. So.
What takes you to Iowa?
I met a guy from Iowa in New York, and my dad is from Iowa, so I knew Iowa. I grew up in Illinois and then went to school in Michigan and NYU and stayed in New York for a long time. But, we got to that age where we wanted a piece of land and
sure, man,
the freedom to park a bunch of cars wherever we wanted.
Just pile them up. Erica, enjoy this new album. It's called Arkansas John Oates. Everybody, you can pick up this album, which is really, really a cool one. It's in stores and online. He's at Joe's Pub in New York on Monday. Go to johnoates.com for additional dates and tickets. And then he's out with Hall & Oates all summer. I think it was Daryl Hall who they got to a point where, if you make a new album, people don't want, for the experience that you had when you went to see them in the park, they don't really, they're looking for the hits. And he said, Hall & Oates' future is our past. And then Daryl goes out and does stuff. John goes out and does stuff. And then when it's time to do the tours, they show up.
Yeah.
And they're bigger now than they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
I believe it.
Or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. They hadn't played Madison Square Garden in, I don't know, since like 85. They played it last year. They're doing 2 sets there this year.
Yeah.
It's very odd how kids that didn't grow up with that music are really attracted to that music now too.
Yeah, I mean, I have a group of friends who all were big Hall & Oates fans in college, and I'm not even particularly sure why. It was like we just kind of bonded on it. We used to listen to their albums and
singable music.
It's singable, it's fun, it's good for the car, it's great for a party, and everyone's together. And we used to put on a Hall & Oates all the time. And again, these are not people who grew up with this music,
right?
Or even necessarily was like, oh, hey, my parents were the biggest Hall & Oates fans.
Yeah, but it's just there. It's in the air. Well, Chris, when he was in college, used to shoot heroin into his neck.
Okay, so you guys had that.
Yeah, it was my bonding experience.
You know how Vito hasn't delivered ever since he became a mushroom addict.
It's unbelievable.
And it is, Chris. I'm glad you're.
I didn't even know you could get addicted to mushrooms.
Yeah. He is. But believe me, he is.
It was so addictive.
Yeah, he puts it on everything. His burgers, everything. But Chris has not only come together with this 52 comics all picking, and believe me, I hope it's 52-0 for the Eagles.
Me too.
If I hear even the slightest thing, like I don't think I'm going to watch that Bill and Bill tonight. I can't.
Too much
I can't
Belichick,
look
right?
So anytime he brings up Belichick, I'll scream out he's a genius. I will. I go, he eats, drinks, fucks football.
He knows so much.
But you also have the big bonsai trophy. And what a trophy you got this year for everybody, a signed football.
By Terrell Owens. Second all-time receiving in the NFL.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
and we're debating whether he's going into the Hall of Fame or not?
Unbelievable. This guy should be in. It's Jerry Rice and then T.O.
First of all, let's put it this way, Chris. It's Jerry Rice, then it's nobody, and then it's T.O. That's how far ahead Jerry Rice is.
Yeah, he's like 8,000 yards ahead of him, which is fucking crazy.
He was unbelievable to watch, too. Like, when people tell me, what's the greatest team? Montana and Rice? Come on, dude.
He played into his
fucking
40s.
disgusting. And he says he wants to come back and play now, too.
What?
Yeah, in the new XFL. He's gonna...
Vince should sign him. That's a no-brainer.
Here's the other thing about Jerry Rice, because everyone says, Theo, what a dick, what a selfish dick. I'm willing to say, Jerry Rice, not a nice person.
You don't think?
Always wanted the ball, always played with anger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was T.O.'s reputation about? Like, what was that based on?
He was like he was a big fucking baby and a big troublemaker. And he was like, if a hip hop star was also a football player.
Okay.
Like if NWA also played football.
If Cardi B was a wide receiver.
Oh my God, I wish.
Cardi B was a comic first, and I got that from Jeffrey. This whole thing that she's doing is a ruse.
That's the bonsai contest. Signed Terrell Owens ball.
That's fucking great.
It's a cool prize.
You know, another thing about John Oates, when he moved out to Colorado, you know who his neighbor was?
Yeah.
Hunter Thompson.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Used to give him trouble.
Really?
Parked the fucking car in his yard. Left it there. Waving a gun around every day.
Just let him be.
Oh, oh, oh. Hey, Alan, what's up?
Hey, Ron and the family Bennington.
What's happening, man?
Greetings. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Jen. She screened my call. She is so sweet on the phone compared to some of the knuckleheads that have answered the phone before. So
yeah, one of them was on mushrooms.
He's tripping. He's tripping face right
I
now.
forgot all about that, Vito. You were totally in the clear until today. You shall not be going back to Austin.
I'm glad I brought it up.
Chris is a narc.
So what, man? Narcs are cool.
Yeah,
no, they're not.
We get over all the time.
Miami Vice, dude.
Fuck, that's a good point.
Tubbs was narking everybody out.
Who picks Tubbs?
I always liked Tubbs.
Really?
Yeah, and I watched a lot of Miami Vice. My mom loved that show.
Mommy
Vice? What's Tubbs' deal?
Mommy Vice. he
Yeah,
said.
well, I watched it with
Mommy
my mom.
Vice.
So I called it Mom. Let's watch Mommy Vice.
Creepy.
Anyway, you had something to say before Screaming
No,
took over.
Chris Stanley's the best. So, Daryl Hall, have you seen his TV show? I think it's called At Daryl's Place, and he has...
At Daryl's house, yes. I've watched every single episode.
He's got some sort of studio and a cabin behind his house. It's unfucking believable.
Really? Okay. Yeah, it's great. Great players. I think the last episode was Kenny Loggins. So you get a chance to hear the great song Footloose. And here's the funny thing. A lot of people think that came from the movie.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those coincidences that worked out. Kenny had an ankle that would not lock for him.
That's terrible.
And I mean, he just showed it off. It could go 360.
Ooh.
It is what they would call a loose foot, but he turned that into Footloose.
Oh, good.
Brilliant.
Okay. And then they're going, well, you've written this song. You're not going to believe this. We've got a movie out about Footloose. And they're like, what's the movie about? This is a guy who dances so well that it looks like his feet are loose. And what happens when he moves to a town that he's not allowed to dance? I'll tell you what, a soundtrack album that fucking held the #1 spot for 3 goddamn weeks. Footloose. Oh, how the kids dance to that record. I'll just say this. Let's hear it for the boy from the album Footloose. Joe, Illinois, Joe.
Hey, how you doing today?
So goddamn good. I hope.
I called to tip my hat to Mr. Hall and to let him
Mr.
know
Rhodes.
that Highway 61 is definitely a mystical place to create from. I'm a driver. I'm 66, and I ended up on Highway 61 3 weeks ago at 2:30 in the morning coming north, and it was like driving off into the land of enchantment. It's phenomenal. So I can't wait to get that CD.
I hope you enjoy it, my friend. Thank you so much, Joe. Here's Joel in South Dakota. Joel.
Hey, Bennington, how's it going?
Very cool.
Awesome. Hey, somebody made the comment earlier, what music has come out of Iowa? Well, that would be Slipknot. They hail from Des Moines.
Very good. Great music.
I had a extremely good friend with the nickname Masha the Slipknot. She performed for us many, many years ago at a place that Hard Rock Johnny used to have on 57th Street, the old Hard Rock. So you bringing up Slipknot? Joel, you're going to find yourself in the pretty good prize.
Yeah!
Getting a pretty good prize.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Not sure if we have anything Slipknot related, but
Let me tell you something. And we got a guy sending out prizes that's so high on mushrooms that everything sounds like Slipknot to him.
That's your tripping music, Vito? Slipknot?
Yeah, I love fucking Slipknot.
That's not good tripping music.
What do you like to trip, though?
One time I tripped, let's do a bunch of rap music. That was a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
That was a really bad idea.
You got to fucking have, if you're doing acid, you got to have music you can slip into. You don't want aggressive music.
Yeah, that was, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Matter of fact, that's a time that prog rock is a pretty good idea. Classical is a fine idea. And this will help you. You need something organic. Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
Allman Brothers, you can settle way into Eat a Peach and then find yourself back in a place of comfort.
A jam is just so comfortable.
Yeah.
A jam can be good, but then you go like, has this song been playing my entire life?
How long has this been
Is this song coming out of my brain?
But you could also do like with a little bit of like noise rock or psychedelic.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but you don't want to. You don't want to fucking slip too far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, I remember once I was listening to the band Clinic, which is like a neo it's like a neo psychedelic band.
Yeah.
And I listened to like that album like on a loop, like 9 times.
Just let it go. Okay. Whatever works for you. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you have to hear a fucking a woodpecker pecking on the if that's what's holding you down, if that's going to be something that can anchor for you, God bless you.
I'll tell you though, I think 8 times would have been fine. Around time 9, I was like, now I don't feel so good.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm in a dark place.
No, quite
Something's
frankly,
happened.
even if you weren't listening to music, you could have went to the same spot. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know what starts that tumbling fucking feeling. I'm working on it with a team of scientists, though. Godspeed, Ronnie B. Vito, there's a game on Sunday. I need my entire schedule cleared so I can enjoy this game.
Okay, I won't
It's called the
schedule you.
Super Bowl, and it's Super Bowl 52.
You won't be scheduled for anything on Sunday.
You say that, but who knows what happens once you start to trip.
You think Trippo, the Trip King, is going to be fucking
Who,
worried
Trippy
about
the Clown?
Tripster? The man who loves to trip?
We call him Tripster because he's a tripping hipster.
I like to schedule stuff when I trip, so.
What a dick.
Believe this shit, Ron?
No, I don't believe what a nightmare that Austin turned into.
I know.
And we found out because it was all because of Tripster.
Yeah, the day tripper over here.
It was at night.
Yeah, but you're still tripping in the morning. Everybody know that.
Yeah. There's residual tripping.
As soon as you had some orange juice, you were back into it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nerve-wrack. I don't even know how I'm going to spend the weekend. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be at the stand. For what reason, I couldn't tell you.
For comedy. Comedic purposes.
You'll be there with Ida Rodriguez.
Great.
Bonnie McFarlane.
Fantastic.
Mark Normand.
Mark Normand?
Mark Normand.
He's still doing comedy?
Yeah.
Great.
Ah.
Joe List.
Oh, he's on my list.
Monroe Martin.
Oh, fun.
Why do you say Monroe's name that way?
Monroe Martin.
It's like you were saying like Catfish Martin or something.
Monroe?
And more.
Just
No, that's it. That's going to be that's plenty.
Take off the N more.
We ought to have Ida Rodriguez in Sunday. She's very. I hate to say this about female comedians because you never say it about males.
Mm-hmm.
But she has a sexiness and a bravado to her. She takes over the room with that.
I mean, you could say it about males, but that would.
No one ever does, though. Even females don't say it about males. But I do think that the funny girls are always hot. Like, I don't think that there's funny and unhot when it comes to women. Now, with men, no women think funny and hot. Except for Kevin Hart, who enjoys letting the whole world know that he's irresponsible. Well, so we decided 3 for that other thing?
3 p.m. 3 p.
Does it feel like I'm the executive producer some days when I make these executive?
Well, there was a mix-up I didn't anticipate, which was lines.
Yes, that's, you know who's supposed to anticipate?
Me.
Producers? Yeah,
Okay.
producers.
Got it.
You
Break
forgot
the
the
word
deuce in that.
Yeah.
Right.
Pro is what?
Professional.
Right. Deuce. Shit.
It's
All right,
duty.
professional shit first.
That's what we want you to be.
That's what you are. I don't know. This fucking bonsai contest better work out with. I mean, is this possible that Brady would just throw 7 picks?
That'd be great.
Hold on, in the first half.
Holy shit.
And then would it be possible for him just to start crying and go, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm senile.
Someone give me some water.
Would it be possible that Belichick fucking shows up drunk and that he just fucking keeps riding around on the fucking field in one of those old men carts that they get food with? What are they called? When you-
Scooters?
Yeah, but
Like a rascal.
a rascal. He just comes out and he's just fucking on a rascal and he's just going after all the refs and he's trying to fucking scream at them. Could that happen?
I think it could.
It could happen.
By the way, did you guys go over the correct way to spell bonsai so you are tweeting correctly?
Yeah, you cock.
It's BANZAI. BANZAI bonsai. Hashtag bonsai.
Right, which is the war cry as opposed to a bonsai tree spelled differently. So, bonsai as Chris spelled it.
BANZAI bonsai. Hashtag bonsai.
And what is RAGMOPP ragmop? What's that spell? All right, Liz Sets Fire wants to talk to us. Liz, long time.
Hey, buddies. How's it going? Miss you.
I miss you, too. You miss all the good stuff. You're way down there in FLA.
I know. I'm going to try to make it up for Thanksgiving this year, so fingers crossed.
I don't even know if I'm going to do another Thanksgiving show because that last one was so great. It's
too good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it. I gave you that suggestion that I think would blow the roof off.
Oh, please. That'll never happen. That will never happen.
But yeah, I was calling because I've done quite a bit of tripping, mostly pleasant.
Yeah.
But one time I ended up at a college party, which was horrendous, and I was probably too old to be there and be tripping. And they kept playing this song, Dance, D-A-N-C-E, by Justice. It's like this EDM thing. So not only is it EDM, but it's like kids singing. It's the worst thing I've ever heard. It's forever in my head.
I'm starting to go sideways and I'm not even tripping.
Yeah, that sounds like something that could make me lose it.
Yeah.
It's the worst. That and Umaguma.
Yeah, I can understand. I tripped to Umaguma before too, and I'm like, can we just talk for a little while, guys? We all have to lay here.
Yes.
You know, and I like
Led
to
me
talk a
down
little
some
bit.
weird path.
Yeah. All right, let's take a little listen to this song, Chris. It's taking you forever. Hal Gail's acting like this can be danced to.
It is.
You could bring
wait
in-
for it.
You could bring in the greatest dancers in the world, and they wouldn't be able to dance to this. All right, I can't handle it. It's-
Chris never got to the hook, but it does
he
get
never
danceable.
does get to the hook. He doesn't know how to cue up music and do it off air. It's a very hard thing. Liz, thanks so much, darling.
I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Brian, what's up?
Hey, so remember you had the idea about a place called Steak and Meatballs, right?
Yes, it's something new that I'm getting into.
Now, did you know that there's actually kind of a historical precedence for that up in New York City?
No.
There used to be events called beefsteaks, where you would basically just sit there, eat beef, all you can eat steak, all you can drink beer, no utensils, no napkins, just you with an apron eating steak and drinking beer.
And you just have an apron on, and why can't you use a fork?
More pants?
Can I please have
I
a fork?
really don't know. But there's an event in Brooklyn, the Museum of Food and Drink. I just heard about this. They're having a beefsteak, and it's like, something they used to do way back in like the 30s. But they're having one, I think it's tonight, at the Museum of Food and Drink in Brooklyn.
I'd like to go to this museum, by the way, the Museum of Food and Drink, because I'm always curious. Like, did you ever see what the Revolutionary War guys would eat?
No.
It's like some kind of pheasant pie and shit, and it looks like we'd be like, I don't know, I don't think this is good enough.
The flavor is really lacking.
Now, I've come up with a new idea, and I've had this idea since probably almost a half an hour now. And the big problem, Chris, you're a napkin guy. You always want a lot of paper napkins, right?
Need them all the time.
Now, here's my idea. Every napkin will have a map on it. Okay?
Yeah.
Take it with you if you like. I call it Mapkins. And you can wipe your mouth, or you can find out how to do the next thing.
This is great.
Now, you're thinking, okay, we got GPS as a roadmap. Maybe. Also could be a map of all the cool stuff to do in that neighborhood.
You also can't wipe your mouth with a GPS.
Thank you. Oh, I got fucking sauce all over my lips. Well, here's my phone. I got the GPS up. Wipe it. I'm just moving it around. Then hold on, there's something new. It's called a mapkin. Yeah, but I got places to go. It's right there on the napkin. But suppose you had Upper West Side mapkin.
Okay.
Okay? Upper East Side mapkin. All right, let's suppose you're in Philly, right?
Mm-hmm.
South Philly mapkin.
Yeah.
Give me another place. Where'd you grow up, Gail?
Well, what about in Brooklyn? Like if you're gonna do a Williamsburg mapkin.
Okay, you do a Williamsburg mapkin. You're in Pinellas County.
Yeah.
Here's your Pinellas County mapkin.
Perfect.
This is all the different fun bars to go to. And look, there's the aquarium, too. Because people don't fucking know where... All right, I'm freaked out from the game. Right now, I'm just thinking about the game, and everything becomes that.
Thought that Mapkin was going to be a good distractor for you.
Could the Eagles score 77 points in this, or is that impossible?
It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Some college teams have scored almost that much.
I kind of feel like seeing John Oates today is like a blessing.
I thought so too.
I didn't even want to ask him about the game because I have the feeling he doesn't know what sports are. You know?
Yeah, he's above it.
There's only one musician I would ever ask about sports. Chris.
I'm going to say...
Vito.
Steve Earle.
Don't know
Gail.
who that was.
Chris.
Not Steve Jordan.
The answer, obviously, is Huey Lewis and the News from his hit album, Sports.
Okay, good. That makes
that
sense.
had the entire country dancing.
Okay.
Not only that, ripped off by Ghostbusters. I Want a New Drug. Literally, I think, took the track.
Really?
All right. Here's what I want you to do. Find I Want a New Drug, and then listen to it a little bit. And just think, you guys didn't know this at all?
No, I didn't.
Just listen to it. They successfully sued Ghostbusters, but listen to it, Want a New Drug, but think Ghostbusters in your mind. Ken, what's up?
Hey, I'm from North Carolina, but I'm pulling for the Eagles this week.
Thanks, buddy.
But you're welcome. But I'm worried about that Chris Stanley jinx. Please tell me he's pulling for the Pats.
He doesn't root until that day, right?
Day of is when you find out my pick.
I can't imagine rooting against me and Gail, though. That would be just terrible.
Day of.
And I just want to say I don't believe in jinxes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
By the way, if you go to a Philly bookie right now, you can get the Patriots plus 8.5. That's the line in Philly. All right, you got this thing?
This is a mashup of the two.
All right, good. Let's take a listen. You know who they sued? Bill Murray.
Him in particular. Wow.
Oh, yeah. He wants to go around lifting from the news? Not going to happen. I got news for you. You're going to court, my friend. You are going to lose us. Yeah, I didn't know that you were such a big Miami Vice fan.
Yeah.
Mommy Vice?
Mommy Vice, you fucking...
Me and Amy watching Mommy Vice.
Your mom doesn't seem like an Amy.
No.
She's an Amy.
It really throws me
sing that
off.
song Amy to her?
No, never.
Why?
Amy.
Not a big musical
What
house.
you want to do? You don't know that song?
I don't know that song.
What?
No.
Pure Prairie Lake. Look it up. This could be a song that you next time you go to your mom's.
And then
grave.
match this up with Ghostbusters, please.
This could be our perfect Super Bowl thing for your mom blessing us from above.
Come on, Amy.
Amy Stanley sending the Eagles blessings for her son from heaven. Watching Miami Vice with you. Never heard that song about your mom.
I know.
Never,
You know what's really sweet? I thought it was weird that he didn't know it, but I thought it was so cute that he learned it.
Yeah, he learned it
I mean,
fast.
he learned it really quick.
You know what was sad though? Vito didn't even jump in once.
You know what? And I noticed that, like, Chris
He
was
jumps
learning
into
it.
every fucking song.
Yeah.
Vito does.
It's probably because he's tripping right now.
Yeah, he's on mushrooms.
I'm high as fuck.
Sorry, Vito, I'm tired of defending you. I'm at the cool kids table now.
Defend that dope.
I'm done.
He's just a trip
You
fiend.
guys, he's on mushrooms
High
all
as
the
fuck
time.
over here.
That's all he cares about.
Why don't you care about Amy? Did you see the three of us singing together?
Yeah, why wouldn't you
harmonizing
done that for Chris's mom?
All he does is talk shit about my mom every day.
There ain't no song
Dude,
called Leslie.
fuck it. Can I tell you something? You can't fight shit with shit. You should have been the bigger and better man there.
Yeah.
No, not when Leslie's on the line.
Leslie isn't on the line. This was Chris's time.
Yeah, this is
You
about
tripped
Amy
out fucking.
and the Eagles.
Okay, that part makes me feel
He's
bad.
only thinking about himself, Ron.
I'm not. I love you guys both.
All the tripping's making
I'm
him.
gonna
He's
write
just-
to HR. I'm gonna write to HR and see if it's okay to beat him with a hammer. And if it is, it's fucking hammer time, Jack. A game's tomorrow, man. Tomorrow. We need something else. Good luck tomorrow too.
Yep.
I can't even look at Big J right now because I just know that he's going to be half a man.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work out. But
I
you know
saw him
what?
in the building the other day, and he was on the other side, and I almost yelled out to him, and I'm just like, I just couldn't do it. I don't know why.
I stay away from him too.
Like, and then I thought maybe I'll like DM him, send him a little message or something. I was like, I don't think I could talk about this right now.
No.
Like, I think I'm just too nervous.
Because the way he looks and dresses just looks like everybody else from Philly. And you just see a city's pain in his face.
I know.
It's just so sad. I mean, it's such a fucking loser town. Can't we just have one victory? I mean, we've waited so long.
I know.
Anyway, do we need to break here, Chris?
We should break.
What is it? Live reads? Oh, this is perfect. We'll talk about Helix Sleep. Now, there are tons of online mattress retailers popping up these days, all with a one-size-fits-all solution to a better sleep. Guess what? One-size-fits-all doesn't work. Helix Sleep offers something that doesn't exist anywhere else. A mattress personalized to your unique preferences and sleeping style that won't set you back thousands of dollars.
Okay, listen to this. Go to helixsleep.com/rawdog. Take their simple 2 to 3 minute sleep quiz. They're going to build you a custom mattress that will be the best thing you have ever slept on. And this is absolutely the coolest part to me. For couples, they even personalize each side of the mattress. Everyone from GQ to Cosmo to the New York Times are talking about Helix. And once you try it out, you'll know why.
And I've been thinking about this a lot. As you get older, sleep is like I didn't have to worry about sleep when I was a little kid. I could lay on the floor.
Yeah.
I could sleep sitting up in a car. Nothing bothered me. Every year, sleep got harder and harder. And I think if people listen to this show, when you do real work, if you're doing construction or factory work, warehouse work, truck drivers, you need that night of sleep. It's not like when you're a kid and you sleep a couple hours. No, you need a full night of sleep. So you deserve this. You deserve a custom mattress set up for you personally. Your custom mattress arrives direct to your door in a week and shipping is completely free. Try it for 100 nights. If you don't love, they'll pick it up and refund you in full. Go to helixsleep.com/rawdog right now. That's helixsleep.com/rawdog right now, and you'll get $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/rawdog for $50 off your order.
helixsleep.com/rawdog.
James Madden's in studio. James is hosting Caroline's March Madness competition February 27th, March 6th, 12th, and 20th. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information, and on Twitter at James L. Mattern.
That's kind of a fun event, right?
It's a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. People are real nervous because they only do a minute the first round.
Yeah. But do you really come in with how many comics right off the bat?
It's no joke. It's based like the NCAA basketball. It's 64 comics. And a lot of the audience doesn't know what they're getting into, which is the host is fun. They just think they're going to see 3 comics like they do when they're in Des Moines. And instead it's 64 cats doing a minute. So just when they fall in love with you, you're off the goddamn stage.
You can't leave the stage then, right? You have to stay on stage almost.
No, I get off. I eat. I let them go at jokes. It is. I let everyone who's not on stage know. I'm like, watch how quickly I scarf down this chicken and spinach. I'll get it down.
So 64, are they all young guys or are they all different ages?
It can be. It's a real weird thing. Sometimes veterans keep wanting to win.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes they'll get to like the final 4 and they get that taste, like any gambler. It's like, I will. This time I'm going to hit, and then they go, and then they get knocked out like in the round of 32, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm going to come back next year." And it's like, "All right, stop chasing it. Why don't you just host a week or close a show or just do your thing, man? Or just go to Des Moines. Those people want to see you there now.
They want to win. Who won it last year? Do you remember?
Carrie caught it.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Great
Very,
act.
very
But see, the 1 minute thing works out because she's immediately likable.
Yes, I agree.
Immediately likable.
She takes over a room quick.
Yeah, she does.
But when you think of some people, it takes them a little while for the crowd to warm up to them. You know, they're just not immediately going to like somebody.
You obviously can't be someone who's too slow paced either. Like you want to get jokes in fast.
What's weird,
you know, so some comics like really take their time. They're like,
yeah. Well, I've seen it both ways though. Gary Veter won one year, and he's very like takes his time and he's quiet. I knocked him out like the year before or 2 years before, and he got mad at me. He's like, "Come on, man." I'm like, "Dude, I'm an old dog. Eventually, this is my last run. You're gonna win this in 2 years." And he won it in 2 years.
Yeah.
You're welcome, buddy. With this slow delivery.
All right, give all the details, Chris.
James is hosting Caroline's March Madness competition, happening February 27th, March 6th, March 12th, and March 20th. Go to carolines.com for tickets and all the information.
Now, you're flying the flag for the New York Comedy Club, too, which is really cool. But what is the shirt? I can't make that out from here.
So this is an old school wrestling shirt of Starrcade. It's Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair because I haven't grown up yet.
No, Starrcade, I believe they were still NWA in those days. They weren't even WCW.
Yes.
Vito, do you even follow any of the old NWA stuff?
I watch some stuff on like the WWE Network.
This is when Flair was the greatest wrestler in the world, bar none. Bar none.
Like hour-long matches every night.
Yes.
Every night.
And your hero, Hulk Hogan, how many hour-long matches has he had in his life?
Probably none. Probably most.
The answer is 0.
25-minute
I'm just going to let you know that.
Maybe in sex tapes. But who knows?
But Hogan was the only guy on Saturday morning TV who would use rest holds. You're like, it's Saturday morning. What are you resting for? But yeah, Flair was at his peak. And Dusty's unbelievable too.
Probably as big an influence in my comedy, Dusty Rhodes, as Richard Pryor, which I don't know. Right? If you're related to Richard Pryor, you're probably judging me now. Sorry, guys.
We had a thing on the show, I don't know, it must have been like 8 years ago, where I fired our beloved producer, Eastside Dave McDonald. But the next day, the Midnight Rider came in a full mask. Listen, everybody. And people were like, and I was like, Dave is gone. I'm loving this new guy. How long we run that bit? Like a month?
Oh, I think 2 months, actually.
Yeah.
2 months of the Midnight Rider.
Not only would he have the mask on in here, but anybody who saw him from the other shows, anybody from O&A show, only talked to the writer. If they saw him on the street, he only had the mask on. He was amazing.
He came on the train. He was on the subway with the mask on.
Yeah, it's dangerous in New York.
That's method acting.
Yeah,
that's
it
good. So, yeah, that's great.
That was the greatest bit of all time when he would do that. And sometimes, like, he would just quote, like, Dylan. There were times, and I'm talking about Dusty Rhodes. I think one time he broke up with Sapphire, and he actually said, he was on TV, and he's like, I offered up my innocence. She treated it with scorn. Come in. I said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
She is America.
Yeah.
I am America.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Heenan was like, I'm moving. I always remember that. That was one of my favorites of all time.
Bobby Heenan was so funny.
Nobody's
So funny.
funnier than him.
See, I raised her down in Florida, and I was doing radio there, and that was like where all the guys lived. So they all would do my show.
Tampa. That's it for some reason,
Tampa,
right?
yeah. And the beaches are just filled with wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we were at this beach bar, and Hogan and the barber.
Brutus
show
the
up,
Barber
right?
Brutus
So-
the Barber Beefcake.
So they both come driving up on these jet skis, right? They're both driving up on jet skis. They pull up. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Hogan and the barber." They turn around and they're pulling the jet skis up. They're both wearing these tiny little fucking Speedos, and we're looking literally at their assholes. And that was partying in the 80s.
Yeah. I rewatched the Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty. 'Cause you can tell I'm doing great in life. This is what I'm doing during the day, watching old wrestling clips. And it was at the barbershop. How was I allowed as a child? Brutus Beefcake's asshole was hanging out at those spandex
all the time.
How was my mom taking me to the Thomas and Mack and buying me foam fingers with that nonsense? Like, yo, go barber. No, don't go barber. I'm 9. This is ridiculous that I'm seeing this.
Well, first of all, he was a barber and a male dancer at the same time. It didn't even make sense.
He was.
Then he would come out with the clippers, and then you would get extra money if you let them clip your hair. Vince would offer extra money.
He also went to the same dry cleaners as we did. So I remember being like a little kid and seeing him in the dry cleaners being like, Mom, Mom, and like
It's the
looking
barber.
over. There's the barber.
Well, we had a thing. He had a bad accident down there. There was a parachute thing, right?
Parasailer, yeah.
Parasailing. And it was his girlfriend was coming down, and he was going to catch her back at the thing. And something caught his thing. He looked over, and by the time he came back, she was right there. She had her knees up, hit his face. So about 6 months later, he comes in. He's got the new face. He's on the air with us. And then he's got all these Polaroids. And he showed us his face pulled up. And I saw
Come on,
inside the muscle of his face. And we were like literally screaming. And then he tried to wrestle with a mask and shit for a while, but nothing was gonna. You know, it was not safe.
He was like a shark. Wasn't he a shark in WCW?
Yeah, there was some kind of a weird thing.
He was the booty man. Really,
Yeah, the
dude?
booty
That's
man.
what we're doing. The booty man. He went from the Chippendales guy who cuts the other Chippendales hair to the booty man. Ugh.
What was the worst gimmick you think anyone's ever done?
Well, you know what it is. I don't want to be like cliche. I mean, the shock. If it's not Shockmaster, it's like asking who's the best basketball player. It's like you don't want to say Jordan, but what am I not going to say number 23?
Yeah,
Shockmaster's insane. You know, I live with Greg Stone, and we were showing his roommate, or his girlfriend, who's a roommate of ours, the Shockmaster. And she knows nothing of wrestling, and she couldn't even handle it. She was like, "This happened. They thought this was cool."
Well, they just threw so much shit against the wall, and none of those guys turned down anything if it was going to mean, ring time.
Ring time, get that paper,
yeah. Because these guys all made a lot of. Look at this. I gotta play a little bit of it, Chris.
This is the Shockmaster's debut.
It's unbelievable.
None other than the Shockmaster! All right! The Shockmaster!
Oh God,
it's the worst pyro ever.
And then he falls down.
This is the helmet.
Yeah.
So good.
At least pre-tape that so that the helmet doesn't fall off.
All right, here's one then for you. Oh, that's hilarious.
Give us damn who you are!
Look at
You're gonna have us! You're gonna have Van Vader! And
He's out of his mind.
God, that hair was
So
great.
you're the
man that rules the world.
Oh, God.
They
Only
call
Anderson
me
doing this.
Yeah.
The Shockmaster. You've ruled the world long enough, Sid Vicious. Get ready. Come on, you want a piece of me?
Oh, God.
You want a piece of me?
Is that just a glitter stormtrooper helmet?
Yes, it is. Gail. It is. That is exactly what it is. Oh, I thought of another horrible one that no one remembers. There was a tag team at a Clash of the Champions that was used to be on TBS. WCW would do those like on a Tuesday. Little tag team called the Ding Dongs. Everybody in silver masks and silver suits, and they would come down with, what are you guessing? Yep, cowbells, ding dongs. And 10-year-old me loved them for a second.
Loved them, yeah, for why it happened.
Was really looking forward to them taking on the Rock and Roll Express, and it never happened, everybody.
Now, the whole thought of guys being stuck into a tag team when they didn't want to is fantastic, because like it just means nothing is working in your life,
right?
So, but then that tag team, you know, the next thing you know, you could be DX. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like DX was kind of embarrassing the first night that it came out, and then it ended up being cool.
But if they're putting you in bodysuits like this,
it's bad.
You're calling all the other territories,
and
asking for a job.
I feel like my answers were like is so much not as bad as these, because
what
like
did you
this is
have?
from the like an era I think where like you still could get away with being this level of cheesy. But I was just thinking just bad gimmicks from when I was a kid. I never understood why the Repo Man would be a character you'd want to play or be scary or intimidating.
And he had a run with that. Repo Man had a run.
And I never got it. It's just like I remember having to even be explained what a Repo Man was.
That's
to
when I
me.
learned what one was.
Yeah, and then being like, well, what's scary about that?
I mean,
like,
he even moved like a cartoon character instead of a man.
So silly.
He was more like, remember the chocolate chip cereal?
Yeah.
Cookie Crisp? He looked and moved like the Cookie Crisp guy.
And like I think there was something about the like prematurely balding with the mustache. And it was just like nobody wants an action figure of this guy. Like
Who's buying that?
this like
Well, that's when they had Skinner. They had all these bad. They had nails. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Nails in his. They didn't even give it a good convict suit. It's like the suit you could buy at the store for Halloween.
You know, Skinner, before that, we know because he was doing Florida wrestling, and he was saying how embarrassing that the WWF is, and does everybody have to walk down there with a pet or a dog, and 2 weeks later, he's down with a baby alligator that with the fucking thing the mouth was taped. But he was a bad man in real life. I mean, he's a tough guy.
Steve Kern, right?
Yeah, Steve Kern. All these guys are really, really tough dudes, no matter what their gimmicks are. It hurts like shit in that room. Well, most of them are dead now.
Well,
just it goes to show you. They gave their life so you guys had an enjoyable childhood.
Someone had to, because a lot of my family didn't. So there you go. All right.
What about for you, Chris?
There was a recent one I read about, the tag team called Crime Time. It was just two black dudes from Flatbush, and they would steal things.
Yeah.
And their team was called Crime Time.
Where were they wrestling?
They were in Raw, and they were spelled Crime Time with Y's, and they wore Timbs and do-rags, and they had PSAs about how to rob stores and how to mug people.
Nice.
And they used to crip walk down the ramp.
What year was this?
This is like 2005, 2006.
Give me a little video of them crip walking.
I want to see the crip
Just look
walk.
up Crime Time intro.
Well, if you really want to think about it, too, Harlem Heat, like Booker T became a star. I mean, Harlem Heat, they're both from Texas. They're brothers from Houston. It was kind of crazy.
And Harlem Heat would occasionally drop the N-bomb.
Oh, the Hulk Hogan, one of the greatest.
This is Crime Time, making their way to the ring.
Look at the size of the ring.
It's huge.
Look at the size of the intro. How much money does that cost to move that shit around?
Prime Time, one of the most dynamic tag teams in all the WWE. They always get a huge.
Oh, they look like their faces, too.
Yeah, they're baby faces. Look at this.
Really?
Inside the ring.
Oh, Prime Time's like Eazy-E and Dr. Dre, like Eric Sermon.
Oh, God, just saying they're like easy.
Like Eric Sermon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they are just like EPMD. That is exactly.
And they used to sell merch on the commercials, like being like, "Don't steal this."
Like, here's one that should have been the worst of all time, and it was gigantic. Head. Right? When they first did the head thing, I'm like, this guy's an idiot. And 3 weeks later, I'm yelling head. Head.
Everybody needs head.
Yeah.
Like, why?
But why? Yeah.
Why did they come up with that?
It was the late 90s where like dick jokes and that was still like real
but he was
fashionable.
Right. Head I could get, but why does he got the fake wig head that he's talking
so bizarre.
to? Like
It was
it's
kinda
his
creepy.
girlfriend.
Late 90s wrestling was all about like call and response. So like when he came out, what does everybody want? And everybody just yelled more head.
Yeah. And that's a real Philly music thing for 60 years, call and response. You know what I mean? They did it with R&B and soul and then all the way up to hip hop. People just like to fucking chant shit there.
Yeah, very bizarre gimmick.
Look at that. He should have been pumping gas 3 weeks after that, and he was over like no one's business.
Yeah. It was very, very exciting. Chris, you got to plug away every once in a while. You kids can't be like wrestling guy.
James Martin's in studio. James is hosting Caroline's March Madness competition February 27th, March 6th, 12th, and the 20th. Go to carolines.com for tickets and more information. On Twitter at James L. Mattern.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and a lot of these younger comics, they don't even get to work Carolines. They get to pop up, maybe end up winning this thing.
Yeah, and last night was the last auditions, and you could just see people. It was kind of fun watching people being nervous before they go on to do like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Yeah, there are certain rooms that they seem like actual clubs, like old school, I Love Lucy clubs. Gotham has that feel.
Yeah, nightclub clubs.
Yeah, it feels like this could be 1954 in Havana. And I always feel like Caroline's feels the same way.
Well, next time I'm on stage at Caroline's, I'll be like, what up, 1954 Havana?
That would be great.
I wish I could play there. That's what I've been trying to do for years.
Vito, give us one that you thought wouldn't be a hit, but turned out to be a hit in the world of wrestling.
The Boogie Man was this guy when I was a kid that they still bring him back to this day. He just wore crazy face paint. He wore a clock and he would eat worms.
He did it at Raw 25 last week.
Yeah, they brought him back
60
out.
years old. He got into wrestling in his 40s. He's was a 40-year-old man eating worms so he could feed his children.
He was on Tough Enough with The Miz.
Yeah, that's devotion, everybody.
Is that
To
right?
be honest, that is pretty disturbing.
I like the guys that get in later.
It's crazy.
Diamond Dallas Page did the same thing. He was like in his late 30s. At first, he was just managing, and then somehow he just went into the ring. He ended up becoming, WCW champion.
Yeah.
But he was a nightclub guy in Fort Myers that used to just let the guys come over and drink free. And then he was like, hey, could I just walk to the ring sometime?
I first saw him in old AWA, because in Vegas we got all the territories, and AWA would come there. And I'm like, who is this guy who looks like he's dating my aunt? Like, he just looked like one of these lunatics who would show up for dinner, and my grandpa would be like, we got to get his ass out quick.
Here's Rich in Toronto. Rich.
Oh, hey there, Bennington.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Cool Diesel did a character called Oz, and it's funny. There's an interview where he's completely mocking it and making fun of it because Oz is a place, not a person, and that was his argument. But you got to see the intro. It's just ridiculous.
This was another short-lived one, right?
Yeah, he had nothing but bad gimmicks in WCW initially. He was also Vinny Vegas, everybody.
Yeah, I remember that. But the thing that they had to find something for him to do. He was like 6'9". You know what I mean? So they just kept going with him.
Oh my God.
Look at this video.
Oh, Jesus.
He looks like a rejected Mario character.
You have this huge dude and that's what you pick for him? Like, Oz? That's so goofy.
I mean, WCW had so many horrible gimmicks. Glacier. Do you remember? How about Van Halen? It's like, hey, heavy metal was really good in the mid '80s. It's 1995 and grunge is here.
Right.
Let's have Van Hammer now.
Yeah.
Are you serious? You're not going to do a grunge character then? You're going to go back to Poison? We're playing fairs?
Because those guys hadn't given up on that 80s rock.
It's so crazy. That's when they were making real money.
Yeah.
They also had RoboCop be a wrestler for a little while.
Oh,
in
yeah,
WCW.
I remember that try.
They should have folded the company the next day after that. RoboCop. This is crazy.
Here's Chris. Chris in Arizona. Chris.
Hey, guys, great show.
Yeah.
Number one, Al Snow with Head was brilliant. I'm sorry.
Brilliant, yeah. But I'm saying it was so fucking silly when it came out.
No.
But Al Snow was just...
The worst of all time, regardless, no matter what, is the Brooklyn Brawler, after he did the Brooklyn Brawler stint, he became a baseball player with white face paint.
Oh, I remember that.
I think this was based on the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
The movie The Warriors?
Yes, exactly.
I
Absolutely freaking horrible. And the Brooklyn Brawler looked more like a Repo Man than the Repo Man did, by the way. So thanks, guys.
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz was the fucking guy's name.
Is that what it was? I didn't even remember that.
And I think the Brawler had moved up to some kind of status with Vince, right? He was either training the guys.
He was an agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do a baseball gimmick, is Knuckleball the nickname you're going to pick? Oh, my goodness, it's Knuckleball! Are you serious?
Just yelling Brawler at him.
Yeah, that was really, really goofy. I remember that one. Here's one that, like, I can't imagine being pitched to me and then me being like, yeah, I'll take that gimmick. Why was the Mountie ever pitched? And that was that dude was around longer than he should have
Yeah, he
been.
was around a long time.
Like, there was no reason to have the Mountie around. Again, not an intimidating character, pretty goofy. And then he just stuck around for a really long time.
I think it's one of those things like, all right, we have you around. What are we going to do? Oh, you're from Montreal? What do they have up those? What are those funny cops that were in the Dudley Do-Right cartoons? Oh, you're a Mountie. Have fun tomorrow.
I saw a friend of mine get choked out by a Mountie, though. The Mountie had grabbed his
Really?
fucking throat. Yeah, a real Mountie.
Was it
I
a
was
Just
like,
for Laughs?
No.
I keep looking for him. Every summer I'm there. I'm like, please let me find a Mountie and let him shock me. And it doesn't happen.
I don't know if they even have Mounties in Montreal because that whole French thing.
Right.
But when I was in Nova Scotia, you did bump into Mounties. And I saw one just... my friend was trying to swallow a joint because he'd come up on us. And the Mountie had his fucking throat, would not let it go of his windpipe. Go and spit it up.
I love
I'm
it.
just like, I don't know if this is going to happen. And he had swallowed it down. This guy was so fucking pissed at him.
Holy shit.
Hey, Richard in Tennessee.
I've got two bad gimmicks, and I've got one gimmick that I never thought would make it. The two bad gimmicks was Mantar.
All right, let's stop for Mantar. Let's stop right there because that was pretty.
Bravo. Bravo.
You could be a winner on that one.
Mantar.
Yeah.
The other one was Toxic Turtles. They were trying to cash in on the Ninja Turtles theme. At
Memphis.
one point they had in WWE.
Oh, I don't
They
remember
had
that.
one match on TV.
Oh,
Toxic
man.
Turtles. They actually did a spot where the guy fell on his back and couldn't get off his back because he was on his tail.
That's actually pretty hilarious.
Makes sense.
Then you always wonder who's in that that costume. All right, what's one that shouldn't have made it but did?
The whole Razor Ramon gimmick was Scarface. It was a ripoff of Scarface, and even when I was a kid, I was going, "This is Scarface. It's never going to make it. They can't do what they did with Scarface in the WWF." So, but it actually blew up really big.
No, it was gigantic.
I mean, I love the bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy.
The bad guy.
He was a coke dealer, and kids held razor phone things when he came out.
The fact that even halfway through the match, sometimes he'd still have a toothpick in his mouth.
Yeah, it's
Used to
terrifying.
make me nervous.
Yeah.
Like, someone could really get hurt in there.
The parent in you really came out there.
Yeah.
What about Doink the Clown?
Doink?
Because he was like he kind of came up as like a molester clown initially, and it's like, I'm a kid at the arena. Once again, mom.
Yeah.
Doink was scary.
Yeah, Doink was pretty frightening. And then he went through like a couple of different things.
Yeah.
Right?
I did like Dink, however.
Dink was
Oh,
hilarious.
come on.
Yeah.
I liked any time that they would say, like, let's bring out Bret Hart, and it would be a little guy. And you'd have the stuff like 100% of the time. That would make me laugh.
Like, that's terrifying. Doink and Dink together.
It's so crazy. As we go through this, it reminds me why my grandparents had full custody and not my mom. She would take me to this and buy me all this, and my grandparents like, no, watch baseball and Andy Griffin.
So your mom would take you to the matches, and you did any of the smaller places where they were just like, you know what I mean? Like,
Not then. Later, I would go to like backyard wrestling when that was hot.
Right.
I hate to admit that, and actually have fun and see like kids my age smacking each other with baking sheets that were still hot that their mom were making brownies for everyone.
That was a fun phase everyone went through.
So I think I got phone numbers there too from girls. I don't know how that's even possible.
I think Gail still has an ex who's into backyard wrestling as a wrestler.
I think he's doing very well for himself.
Yeah. Let's go over here to Remy in Ohio.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, buddy, what do you got?
I think one of the worst wrestling gimmicks, I think, more recently was tag team Los Matadores that were originally Primo and Epico before. And they just keep recycling
that little guy with
all and all over again.
Which is hilarious because they're Puerto Rican, not Mexican or Spanish. So it's like, you're kind of in that vein. Have fun, everybody.
You think that the Mexicans would get really mad about that because the way they supposedly care, but they seem like they're pretty easygoing.
They are.
About the tradition of this, the masked wrestler.
But what about the little dude dressing as a bull? I mean, that's the icing on the cake, everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
And he will use his head.
Yes.
He had a match. They had a little guy match called it was tables, ladders, and chairs, sponsored by Fisher Price.
Oh God.
Let's go over to Craig. Craig, what do you got, pal?
Oh yeah. By the way, that was they called that a WLC match. Yeah. So I was gonna say Eugene, who was introduced as Eric Bischoff's nephew with special needs, and the crowd ate it up for so long. He would wear his jacket inside out to the ring every week. It was ridiculous.
They would actually take TBS's license.
Yeah, that cannot be done today.
How did the government not shut down this company when this was going on?
Well, they were blowing through money like there was no tomorrow, too. Like, all those guys were lazy at that time. They all had coke. They all had pills, and their life was pretty fun until they hit the wall.
How far could they have taken it? Could they have said from the short bus, Eugene? Is that when it would have really blown up and be like, we can't do this?
David, what's up?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Before Kane was ever Kane, he used to be some guy who was a dentist, like
Oh yeah.
character that was a
that was a short run, you know. And by the way, the Kane character never should have won. Isaac
Yankum. Isaac Yankum.
DDS.
I'm not a Kane guy.
Yeah.
I did some stuff for the WWE Network, and there's a whole chunk on Undertaker and Kane. I'm like, I never was into either of them. I know it makes me in the minority. I'm more scared of a dentist than the supposed red gimmick from the Bible. All
Yeah,
right?
I never understood how Kane got over.
Yeah.
I never. And Undertaker. Now, what was your big problem with him? How slow he worked?
Yeah, I mean,
The
first
slow
of all,
boot.
it took 6 hours to get to the ring.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a kid. I got to go out and play at some point. Like, hurry up and get there. Also, I guess this is going to sound insane. I wanted him to be more realistic, and I know it's crazy because we had like dancing chickens at the same show, or turkeys. But I was like, how are people behind him? He's like a demon, and you're rooting for a demon. All my friends are like, isn't that cool? It's like, no, man,
that's not.
He's
cool.
going to take your soul, man. I don't need this. I'm going to root for Tito Santana.
He made it go a long time, man.
He did, yeah.
Here's Jeff. Jeff, what's up?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good. We had the Rock and Roll Express back in the late '80s, I think mid '80s, that imitated, I guess, the '80s hair band. Terrible gimmick. Don't even know their names, but had a poster of them in my room, which was really gay.
No, you love them.
They're legends.
Oh, they're
I mean,
there.
they just win the Hall
I
of
like
Fame.
their half shirts.
They're arguably the greatest tag team of all time. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson. Women were, if you go back and watch on the network now, watch the old Mid-Atlantic Crockett. Girls are crying. Girls are there with like their grandmas. Grandmas are throwing panties. They were the most over tag team probably ever.
Well, they were based on that other tag team. What was the guys that came before them that were like doing the rock thing?
The Rockers?
No.
Well, the Rockers came after.
Yeah, well after.
Who were the Midnight Rockers?
Yeah. I can't believe it's escape. Yeah, go ahead.
What about Coco Beware?
Oh, Coco Beware.
That's a great gimmick. You hold your tongue.
Thank you.
Can I tell you something? You're going to feel very proud of Gail here. During a dark match in Bradenton, Florida, Gail went to the ring, little Gail, and danced the bird dance with him in the ring.
Yeah.
Life's complete at that point,
It was
right?
it was a highlight for me.
And I remember at one time, too, you said to me that night, I don't want to do this. And I go like this. Yeah, you do. I go, you think that you don't?
I
but
got
this
real
will be-"
bad nerves. I was like, really? Because, like, it's
Well, you don't-
massive. When you stand in the middle of the ring and you really look around, you're like, holy. And that's a small place, too. It wasn't like a huge arena.
Yeah.
But to me, as a little kid, I was like, really scared once I was.
Well, I've gotten to do a lot of things in my career. I brought the Who on stage before, so I know what it's like to have that kind of rush. But when I carried the flag with Hacksaw,
oh man,
there was a pop in that place that I've never experienced before or since. And I'm like, the excitement level of when we came through carrying these flags. And then we were up against Quebec, you know what I mean? And the boos that they got. And Fez carried the flags for them, and they were booing. And like, Fez was so fucking smart in the business and knowing how to handle it that he acted like the boos were hurting his ears.
Oh, I love it.
And he was stomping his feet, and that made him boo more. And I remember going like this during like the USA and stuff. I'm like, man, that fucking guy knows how this. You know what I mean? Because you're playing that instrument.
You milked them, yeah.
Yeah. And like when him acting like, because you wouldn't think you know,
Like,
I mean, I am
cover your ears and stomp like a little
I
kid.
can't stand this
Sound of
the sound of USA and booing. And I'm like, fuck, that's really on it, man.
It's those little things that
Yeah.
make a heel so great.
Right.
Like, here's someone who shouldn't have worked that was like masterful. Do you remember Frenchie Martin?
Sure.
Was so great. He would cover his ears, sit down and shut up. And that would just make everyone want to stand up and throw shit more. It was
Just
so
so
great.
you know, Fez was with Frenchie Martin that night. Frenchie was part of that.
Oh, really?
That's how fucking, yeah. But, you know, even when you get into that game, you don't realize how to go slower. Like, if you're doing stuff in the ring, there's a certain pace that, just like comedy, takes years and years and years to learn. So when you do get hit, when you're young, you just want to rush over it and do everything. But you just take your time, and the crowd's pissed
Nothing's better than like an over the top, oversold flop down.
Flares.
Like, yeah, like that, like taking 3 steps and then get woozy
So
and
great.
hitting the.
So great. We'd get hit on a Tuesday, would finally fall on Friday. And for some reason, it seemed real enough.
It was real enough, and you would hear like the applause, but also the laughs. Like the people enjoyed the heelness of, look, he's doing that shit again.
Yeah.
One of the greatest days of my life, met Ric Flair, invited him to a college party, and you could tell he was thinking about doing it.
Right.
It was so wonderful. And then when we left, he's like, don't get in too much trouble, kids. And my buddy, who made fun of us watching wrestling for years and called us sissies and other things, all of a sudden became a child and was like, thanks, Nate. You can still come. It's like, you called us assholes for watching this every Monday, and now it's hey, Nate.
You watched the 30 for 30, of course. With
Yes,
him,
sir.
right?
Yes.
It's unbelievable. And my favorite thing is when he said he slept with, what was it, 10,000 women? No, 10,000 women that he met at wrestling matches. Is nothing to brag about.
There's a handful of thoroughbreds. There is a handful. When I go to like NXT, I'll see a couple. It does get tough, but yeah.
Well, I hope this promoted enough of what we were doing.
Well, it's almost like wrestling.
Yeah, it is. It is set
it's like King of the Ring kind of a
It's
situation.
a King of the Ring.
I've seen people cut promos on each other for the minute.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
let's
great.
see. Dan Soda, the year he won, he had 2 minutes against someone. I forget who it was, and they just basically, it was Jason Cantor. 2 minutes of just ripping each other. It goes, yeah, they're cutting promos. This is great.
All right, take us home, Chris.
James Marin's been in studio. James is hosting Caroline's March Madness competition. It's happening February 27th, March 6th, 12th, and 20th. You go to carolines.com for tickets and more information. And on Twitter, at James L. Mattern.
All right, and thanks to John Oates for stopping in here today. His new album is terrific. It's called Arkansas. I already see it on iTunes. He says it's coming out tomorrow, but I had the whole thing's laid out there.
And John's performing at Joe's Pub in New York City this Monday, February 5th. JohnOates.com for all his dates.
All right, that's it for us. Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you, man. I had a blast.
We want you here for a long time.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see everybody again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!